fam. Oh, what up, TAS fam? I don't know. I think it was live, but whatever. Yo, we're hanging out for another 424 recording, live Q&A at Bohemisphere, Saugerties, New York. What's going on? You know me, I'm Mike. You know Jay, that's Jay. If you're watching the replay and want to catch us live, just hit the notifications, hit the bell, and it'll notify you when we go live. Although we always go live Wednesdays now at 7 p.m. Eastern. So, and if you're watching the replay, you can always speed ahead 2x or 1x, 1.5x, so you can get through all the nonsense that we talked about even faster. I'm just going to check to make sure that we have the camera in the right spot, because as you know, this thing's a little finicky. So, oh, hey Matt. Hey Matt, I think my spiel is still in the beginning of the video. We're trying to get this thing going. It looks like it's, oh, there we go. There's Jay.
It says it's live.
Oh, all right. It was spinning aimlessly. So, yeah, this is what we're doing. We're just hanging out.
It's spinning aimlessly on mine too.
Oh, it's spinning now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it says that we're live, but I don't believe it. Huh? Is it the mist? Is that what's causing this? There's some woods there. We're just trying to get this thing recalibrated. If you're hanging out in the chat.
It's just spinning relentlessly.
We got some spinning going on. Dang. Yeah, so I don't know. We're having some issues with the connectivity here. Thanks for sticking through it. If you're still sticking through it, we're just straight chilling here tonight. I don't know if this is gonna work or not, but I hope it does. Looks like it's going. Can you guys hear me out there? Or is it Matt in the chat? Matt in the chat. Hey Matt. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with this thing tonight. Hey, it's working. Hey JMA, what's going on? We might have to do an outdoor session. I mean, it's bright enough out here. What's going on? Good to see you. Good to see you guys. Thanks for coming through. I don't know if anybody saw my spiel in the beginning, but I don't know. We were having some issues with the connectivity, so yeah, I guess we're good right here. I don't know. It's pretty misty out today. Maybe that's has some cause for concern. The signals can't make it through the mist. Could be the thing, but who knows? But yeah, so Jay and I are chilling. We just sat outside because the thing dropped, so we're just trying to get it healthy again and see if we can make it work inside. But it's pretty nice out. I mean, there's some deer chilling over there, and we're just hanging out at the back end of Jay's studio here, chilling. Jay, this is pretty crazy that it's light out right now. Usually it's been like pretty dark. I feel like the interim we've been doing this, so. Yeah, but yeah. Cool. Yeah, gorillas in the mist.
You won't be able to see it.
Well, I'll just shoot Jay.
All right.
Any better?
Nope. Blotchy.
Jeez.
It's gotta be the fucking mist.
It's gotta be the mist. And I'm using the better side of the phone too. I mean, we're chilling, but I guess it's gonna be splotchy. I mean, it's usually a splotch fest behind it. Let's see if it'll play nice right here. Uh-oh, turning the volume down. Man, this is like, let's see if it'll play nice. This is you guys, Jay?
Yeah, this is the first track off of Sempiternum.
That's the first album, right?
First full length.
First one. Sounds great, man. I like your lobe. Yeah, I opened the door and it seems to all of a sudden working. I don't know. Ah, shit. Yo, Twin, what's going on? This thing is not doing too good. What's going on? You guys can see me better out here, but it's like, it's just not, there's the connectivity. We're having some connectivity issues. Thinking because of the mist, although the mist is starting to evaporate. But Twin, we got your PO box mail. I was gonna open it on the stream tonight. It's been sitting in my closet like a Christmas present, so I'm pumped to open it. I'm just trying to see if this will get any better out here. Other camera. Bummer. It's a major bummer, man. Yeah, we're just trying to get Skiz, what up? Yeah, so I'm gonna let this thing chill for a minute. Still get going here. We're taking a look at Jay's yard here. He's got the go-kart shed out there. Yeah, so lo-fi stream, I can dig it. Sweet. As long as the audio. We're trying to this is the entryway to Jay's. I'm just trying to see if this thing will play nice. I'm gonna try to put it back. Skiz is having Mexican right now. Oh shit.
What's happening?
Skiz is having Mexican right now.
Oh shit.
Almost dropped you guys.
You ever listen to this record or no?
I don't know if I ever have, man, to be honest. I feel like maybe when I first met you guys, I put it on. So like,
got my favorite.
does this have the Black Sabbath cover on it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This has one of my favorite riffs I ever wrote on it.
Oh yeah. Oh wait, this is a different one than the one I thought of. This one?
This riff.
You guys play this one at all?
No, never. We don't play anything off this record anymore.
Yeah, so I'm letting this thing chill here for a second, see if it'll play nice for us. Any better, Jay? Yeah, I mean, as long as the audio's going through. Yo, Jay. All right, grab some snacks, Twin. We're gonna be here. We're just gonna make sure that this thing's playing nice. Taking 5 outside. Cool, yeah, it looks like this is gonna play nice now. We have the door open. We set up some tinfoil to like funnel a signal into the phone, so Give us a second. We're gonna just make sure that this thing is primed up. Looks like we're recovering from our earlier issue. The heat's not on, right? Yo, what up, Will? Yeah, go grab some snacks. Go grab whatever you need. We're gonna be chilling, so.
Plays bass. His son fucking plays bass.
Basing it up. We'll have to ask the fan that when we go in.
You ever listen to the first record?
I don't know. Is it on the Bandcamp?
Yeah.
Well, I know there's Separaturnum. How do you say it?
Sempiternum.
And then isn't there another one that has like a very similar syllable count?
No.
I thought there were two that were like very similar, like the third one and the... I guess I'm just straight tripping, as always. What up, Taz fam? Hopefully I can't fucking talk tonight. Hopefully the stream is gonna hold up for us. We got a little bit of a Made in the Mist, Gorillas in the Mist, Jane Goodall type situation outside right now. So, you know, we're just hoping that it clears up, hoping that we can get this going.
Yeah.
I hope that it's still streaming because for all I know, it could have already dropped. But yeah, so guys, so great to be here tonight. Great to be alive. It's a good day to be a human. Yeah, fun times. So Jay and I just got done doing some practice, and I was telling Jay it really revived my spirit today because just with this weather and the way things have been going lately, it's just been a little bit of a down
Dumpy. It's been dumpy.
It's been dumpy. It's been a little bit of a drag lately. So it was good to like rock it out and get that vibe going, get those natural uppers going. So
the first record, man.
Oh yeah, tell us a little bit about what we just listened to, Jay.
We're just listening to the first Surmiser full-length Sempiternum.
That's awesome. And that was like the first couple tracks.
Yeah, not in order.
That song's called Lost Control.
The one before it, the riff that I like. Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys listened to it or like we're listening intently, but I personally think some of that stuff is bordering on the Joy Division range. And I asked Jay. Well, I'll ask you guys what you think. Do you think Jay likes Joy Division?
This is the fucking...
The answer will probably not surprise you.
This is the first record. If I can get it to load.
So yeah, let us know what you think, if Jay's into Joy Division or not.
This was recorded on ADAT.
Oh, cool. You still have that machine?
Yeah.
Man, I feel so fat. I gotta like feeling really self-conscious about my weight right now.
Yo, me too, man. I don't know.
I'm like all hunched over, like.
This is where we start.
What is this one called?
Subsonic Panic Alarm.
Oh yeah, this was up on the Bandcamp too at one point.
Yeah, it still is.
Oh.
Listen to the low end on that bass guitar though. Fucking monster, man. I love the ADAT. That was an RE20 on a twin reverb with the best in the grill. Big muff. I couldn't even tell you how to play any fucking songs anymore.
Shoot on that. Is this
Wrap that up if you would, I'll thread it. This one we played for a long time. This is called Galactimus.
Oh yeah.
A lot of
That was like the beginning of Kids by MGMT. I wonder if we'll get flags.
Bet or not, this was out before they were out. This came out in December 2012.
Oh yeah, I remember this.
The low end on this record is fucking ridiculous. That's what happens when you log off the ADAT and fucking monitor everything in headphones.
You guys don't play this one anymore though? Got it?
Yeah, we were much different back then. Our Sinisterizer was a fucking. This was like the Doomer. See, back when I used to use like the ring modulator and shit.
Oh, you got some
all the
questions
time.
coming in, Jay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, was this recorded at your studio? Twin wants to know.
It was recorded in this building, but there was no studio set up up here. It was one big open room. About where the camera's sitting now, we had the 2 amp space in the wall turned way down. The guitar and bass and drums were all cut live, and then I put the vocals on it after. And when I brought it home to mix it, I did all the noise and circuit vent shit. Anyway, yeah.
Cool.
Not a big fan of basically anything on this guess, except for I'll tell you what was.
Jay's been going through his back catalog tonight.
This is where What End came from, though, and like the original version of What End, I still have a.
The riffage.
Yeah, it's just like the way we used to play it versus how it gets played now is totally different.
Oh, yeah. Man, that bass is crazy.
Yeah, the low end is big on this record. But anyway.
Well, the sound evolves as you evolve as musicians.
Well, I mean, it has to, man.
It's like you guys are a totally different place than you were when you made that record.
Well, for me anyway, it's like I'm at a totally different comfort level now than I was then.
That's interesting. How so? Like with what you're trying to do, or with who you are as a person, with like your like what do you mean by?
Well, mostly with like vocals and being the guy out front, because like when we first started that band, I'd only ever really been like a drummer.
Oh, okay.
You know, I sort of like jammed with people playing guitar and stuff, and I played a bunch of gigs on drums then, but
nothing where you were up front
no,
and on display.
no. So it was totally fucking weird. Like the first show we ever played is like, I'm pretty sure there's video from that, but it's like I was staring at like the mic connector for like the whole show.
Oh man.
And just like I couldn't look at the fucking room. Like I
Yeah.
like cotton mouth. I was all fucked up about it and shit. It's just like
That's crazy. Well, I mean, you got to go through that stuff to get to where you are now.
no, I don't give a fuck. I climb up there with like my fucking ass hanging out and like fucking
Yeah.
you know whatever.
Own the space.
Give a shit.
It's your space for those 30 minutes. Back to Pixels. Looks a little trippy. Yeah, we put some LSD on the lens. So.
Yeah. Twin, no, the Surmiser lineup for the EP that's coming out, we have a new drummer. My sister-in-law played drums for us from 2012 to, I guess, early 2017, right?
Yeah. Well, they only moved out there.
Well,
you guys
she
were
moved
playing
out
right up
there.
until she moved out.
Yeah, so I guess it was like, what, June or July then.
Yeah.
So up until June or July of 2017, and then we got a.
Jen A. How's Jen A doing, man?
I guess they're doing. She and Dave are
I
doing
haven't
fine.
spoke to her in a while.
But that record actually was like, I think Jen had only been playing with Tom and I for like, I think it was like maybe only a month or two before we made that record. That record actually is like our first demos. Like I told you before, I think that I don't really do demos.
Right. Yeah.
And that like, you know,
I've
I
never
figured
done demos. Yeah.
I sort of don't. Kind of don't believe in it. Like if you're gonna spend the time to record the song, just record the fucking song.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of times, that first recording is the best recording. So why wouldn't you want to keep that?
Even if it's not, like I'm not.
Well, I just think the idea of like a demo is a extinct idea. In
Yeah,
music
I think it's you know.
What do you guys think? Demos? I mean, doesn't
the only
you don't have a demo disc anymore. You can send to the record label.
Well, you know the only reason I could see to have demos is if you're like if you have ideas and you're trying to find other musicians to help you fulfill those ideas.
Oh sure, yeah, that makes sense.
That makes sense, but other than that,
I guess I mean in like the what is demo is demonstration? Is that what it's short for?
Yeah. It's like to demonstrate your band.
A demonstration of what we do. It's
like seriously, if I'm gonna spend the time recording it, or I were to pay somebody else to spend the time recording it, like. It's fucking coming out. That's not a demo. I'm not gonna just hand that to my friends and fucking chuckle about it in dark hallways and stuff. Like, you know, like we worked on this shit. Here's this shit. Like, I don't care if you fucking like it or not. This is what it sounds like.
Cool.
I
think that's a really healthy attitude, Jay.
Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. I don't know. But all right. Let me back up and see.
Oh yeah, we got some questions.
What are the questions? Different lineup.
Oh shit.
Oh, we missed Coop. Well, Coop, if you're watching this on replay, what's up?
What up, Coop?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, how those tacos doing? Yeah, I thought I saw a couple other ones there. We're just checking through the comments right now. Coop, what's going on? We got Will coming through.
Yeah, JMA. I mean, that's sort of like what we do. Like we'll set up either a couple microphones in the live room, or you know, if there was just a session and the kit is still mic'd up or whatever, I might just throw up some quick placements and you know, we'll like play the new song idea live so nobody forgets it. But that gets 0 time spent on it. Like I'm not setting tones. I'm getting basic levels and it just flies. There's no mix. It is what it is. But
Yo, that's super interesting. Not to completely change the topic, but Will was saying that he said his stream was automatically set to 144p. So that's why it was so blurry.
Holy shit.
So that may be a reason that people's stuff is blurry. Check it out. Check out the stream settings.
How the hell do you change the stream settings?
I think it should be in the video in the 3 dots, maybe. But yeah, YouTube will automatically set it based, I think, on your maybe region.
I'm set at 480p.
Oh, okay. So if it's super blurry, I mean, it's obviously blurry, but
I went up to 720. It still looks like shit.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess
So
it's just what we got.
we'll go back to 480.
Maybe we should just make this a podcast.
No, I don't know. I mean, it's fine.
A live podcast.
We're not doing anything they really need to see anyway.
Yeah, talking true.
But yeah, what's good, everybody? I do anything myself. I'm not a big.
Yeah, me either. I mean,
Yeah.
you know my latest video on why I'm selling all my records. So
Oh, Twin.
I'm not a record store guy either.
Twin said great guitar tone. That guitar tone is an Epiphone ET270, which is a Matsumoku made Epiphone that Kurt Cobain played in like the Bleach era.
Is that the one he used to like like the type he used to smash or something?
He smashed that one and it never came back.
Unibox one?
No, not that kind.
Something at one point they were just buying up all these like really cheap guitars.
They were.
And just, like,
But
smashing
this was a red guitar. If you've ever seen pictures from Raji's, you ever see those? It says Raji's on the back and it's like him like splayed out on a drum kit with a guitar.
Is that that's like the real where he like jumped into it?
Yeah, you jump backwards in the kit with the guitar. That guitar is kind of like a stretched Strat shape. That's that guitar.
Interesting. And you still have that?
Yeah, I actually have 2. I have the Aria version also.
Oh, cool.
But it's that into big box, big muff with 3-band Fender tone stack added to it. That's why I used to scoop the mids all the way out of the guitar tone. It was like totally fucking flat. And that into all the modulation and shit that I still use, but into a Pro Reverb with a pair of Eminence Private Jack 12s in it. You never saw that guitar?
No.
I'll grab the other one. The other one's here.
I'll take a question from Will while you're grabbing it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Mike, when you playing a live stream gig? May 23rd, actually.
Right.
Jay and I are going to be playing on the stream again, live from the hemisphere, live from this exact location.
So this is the Aria version, which has a different headstock, but
cool.
I think that might be an open E now. I'm not sure.
Oh,
no,
cool.
it's in regular E, or some wacky out of tune version.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's big time out of tune. Yeah, I love the wipers, man. That's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
I think Pat Smear, the pictures of him playing with the Germs, he usually was playing borrowed stuff, so there's a good chance like that wasn't actually his. But I have seen him playing guitars that were similar. A lot of times he played a Hagstrom. I think that might have been like his on and off guitar in that period. It was red and black.
You're just joining us. The stream is called musician attempts to tune guitar.
Kurt Cobain smashed a lot of Mexican Strats, but he didn't get endorsed by Fender until the tail end of that tour when they were working on his custom. Ernie Bailey, his guitar tech, had a deal with Fender though to get crates of the replacement necks so that he could smash the Strats every night.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I remember reading about that in some interview with Ernie Bailey. Also, stream just dropped for me. Well, I don't know if it's back. It might be back. It says, I think it says we're still live. Throw us a comment if you can hear us out there, fam. R.I.P. Damn it. Wow. We back, boys. We coming back? We coming back? All right, I'm going to try not to walk in the stream path, but shit's going to happen, I guess. Yeah, so I was tuning this thing up. I don't know how far the stream got, but Jay pulled this out of the closet or out of the nether regions of his studio basement over there, and we're just rocking this thing. Just tuning it up a little bit and showing it off. Showing it off on the stream. It's pretty cool. Yeah, so... Oh, Will said, also check your emails, dude. Alright, cool. We'll check that out. Yeah, we're live stream gig. I don't know if that came through too. We're gonna May 23rd. It's Wednesday. It's gonna one of the streams. We're gonna do the same thing we did a couple of months ago or a month ago, or whatever. When we played live on the stream. So mark your calendars. We'll be probably starting the stream off just with another set, and maybe we'll play some of the new tracks if we have time to practice them or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Skiz said, I have old crate 212 closed back with an Eminence governor and an Eminence Man of War. I love it. Is that that's not a vintage club 212 by any chance, is it?
Oh, Chris Cochera came through. Mike, love the new track. Listen 3 times. Thanks, buddy. Thanks for checking those out. Appreciate you coming through. Welcome to the stream, but maybe you've already bumped out of here, so. But thank you, my friend. Thanks for checking it out. I'm glad to have gotten those things out. Earlier this week I put out, well, it was yesterday I put up the stream of it, and Monday was the release of some songs I've been working on, some albums I've been trying to get done for a while, that I meant to get done in the fall. It's kind of a fall-themed album, fall winter, so I woke up the other day and it was spring, and I was really mad that I hadn't done that, but I've been working on a lot of stuff, you know, the Kickstarter and all that stuff, and channel-related stuff, making the videos. So it's kind of been taking my creative, outlet. So I've kind of taken the backseat with the music stuff. But yeah, I'm still writing stuff and wanting to get stuff done and out. So that one's been in the mix for a while. It was like 12 tracks, but those are probably the best of the best. So maybe we'll recycle the other ones for something else. But thanks for checking it out, Chris, and we'll be playing live on the stream on May 23rd, 7 p.m. So that will be the next one. If you want tickets, you don't need them. Just come to the stream.
My chat is not refreshing.
I think is the thing work?
Yeah, here we go. Yeah, you know, Matt, I have a vintage club. It's a VC 212E extension cabinet. It was a cream color with the goldish wheat grill cloth. I painted mine like this. I made an oxblood color in acrylic paint. I put 3 coats of it on it. I decked it out with gold hardware, with new gold hardware, and I built a pair of like late 50s hi-fi speakers for it. That's what it's loaded with now. But it used to have Eminence black powders in it, and like those are the best. That was the best indie rock sound I ever got out of a guitar amp up here. With Eminence black powders and a vintage club 212, the back taken off, and I lost the back somehow. I took it apart to like rebuild it, and somehow in the process lost the whole back panel. I don't know. That actually shows up.
It doesn't seem like someone to lose things very often.
That's a big ass piece of fucking wood. I don't know where it went.
That seems odd. Like there's a number of things that seem odd about that.
Yeah, I'm not sure where it is.
I think somebody's could have swiped.
You remember when you came up that time in one of your videos and I was like on the porch soldering speakers? That's the cabinet.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That
That's so
cabinet.
cool.
Yeah.
That's the one I got you playing through, right? There's like a little B-roll of you playing that. You were testing it
Yeah,
out.
I was playing out on the porch. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, that's
it
cool.
was a nice day that
That's
day.
a great day. Yeah. Oh my god. That's I really I remember that too, like that shot, because it was like such a gorgeous day.
That cabinet with the back on it was fairly heavy, but I mean not as heavy as like my 412 or you know whatever. I think it really depends a lot on what speakers you put in it too. But yeah, look on it'll have the little back plate and it'll say crate VC212E, or it might just say VC212 because it was a 212 that had like, mine has offset speakers. There was another one I think that was like two speakers side by side. It was a slightly shorter box, but this is like the size of, almost the size of a 410. Yeah, you got yours in 99. I probably got this thing in 97 or 8, something like that. So that's probably about the same period. Yo, those Marshall MG cabs, that's like the compact 412, I think, right?
Oh, that's you guys are talking about those Marshall cabs with like.
Well, no, Twin is talking about Twin the MG cab. It's like a 412, but it's slightly smaller than a 412, or than the average 412. Those cabinets actually can sound really good if you put a decent set of speakers in them. And I actually saw somebody port it, so it was like semi-open back, and it sounded pretty good too. I always wanted one of those for playing shows, just because I could put my own speakers in it, and it would be a smaller piece for the cube to pack, you know. I actually thought about putting two 12s in it and then two passive resonators offset, because you don't really need, you know, 4 12s in a cabinet like that. But being able to reproduce the power of the low end from the cabinet would be nice. The heads that go with those fucking suck, though.
I feel like you can get a lot of cabs now for pretty deep.
Yeah, because everybody hates carrying 4 12s. Did you ever carry my 412?
No.
Oh, man.
I think every show we played, it's been like wheeled in and
yeah.
pretty much ready to go, because it was like backlining. So, but your this cab sounds sick, man.
That cabinet is...
Thank you so much for always letting me use it.
Whatever. But that cabinet's heavy as fuck.
Really?
Like the...
And it's also slanted, right? Slanted cabinet?
Yeah, it's a slant. Each one of those 12s in that cabinet weighs like 16 pounds, I think. They got the magnet on the back of each one of those speakers is like that big around.
Oh my god.
Like 2-inch voice coil, like, they're fucking serious, man.
That's crazy, man. Like, I mean, you know, with the Super, I don't know if that was, I ever showed that to you guys on the channel, but I had the Super reverb, and I got rid of the speakers, because when I got it, it had like this weird mismatched set.
Yeah.
Somebody kept blowing shit up with it.
Yep.
And it had like 4 different speakers, only one was the original, so I wound up taking out the original blue badge. It was like a Utah or something.
Yep.
Put that shit on reverb, sent that out to somebody, I think in like Texas. They were floored because they needed like one more for their set. And then the other 3, I think I like sold them or threw them out or something. They were shit.
Don't ever throw out speakers, though. Jesus.
Well, I think I sold them, honestly. I think I had asked you if you wanted them. You were like, yeah, I don't need any more speakers.
I don't, but don't throw them away. Jesus, don't ever throw out speakers.
No, I don't think I threw them out. I think they were just like, I think I wound up like just giving them to somebody, or I don't remember. I may have thrown out one though. I know that's sacrilege. I didn't realize that, but yeah, put those.
It depends what it is. Like if it was like an Eminence,
yeah,
and it was fucked up, I'd probably throw it away.
Well, that's what it was. Like one of them was like some no-name thing that was like an old PV speaker. It looked like the same speaker I had in my current PV, and it was shot. So I was like, fuck this thing. Like,
yeah,
it's gonna be more energy, more time.
But I have like a whole shed full of like blown Sheffield speakers.
Right.
And,
if you got some good stuff, then yeah. I didn't throw out anything that luxurious.
I also have those 2 Eminence Swamp Thing 12s.
Yeah.
Those are fucking great speakers, but so we put 2 of those in Tom's twin reverb when he was playing bass through it. Yeah. And it lived for like almost 2 years with 12-inch guitar speakers in it before it fucking finally blew the surrounds out.
Oh my gosh.
But
yeah, what I was saying was like my Super now has those. I think I got like cheapest, crappiest ones I could get.
You get Jensen's, right?
It's fine.
Didn't you get Jensen's?
Yeah. So I was literally just looking for the lightest weight ones.
Yeah, Nico, man. Every
I mean,
time.
you lifted that at the New Year's show that time. You were like, "Oh my god, like this is crazy. This is like the lightest silverface,
Yeah.
blackface amp I've ever picked up."
Yep.
No, that's what I went. I just like I took off everything I could out of it. That was causing it to weigh a lot. Because I like the sound of the cab. I like the look of it. I like obviously the sound of the amp, but I was just going for like straight up. Like I didn't care how shitty the speakers were. I was
Yeah.
like, whatever cheap they are, or whatever. I was just like, people shit all over them, but for the few shows we're playing, it's all in your hands. I'm totally, I'm a total, I totally subscribe to that idea. Is like, no matter what guitar and what setup you use, you're always going to sound like yourself because it's you. So I don't think it's not the gear that makes the musician. It's the musician that makes the gear. So.
Twin asked if I think vintage power tubes really make that much of a difference in a vintage amp.
Oh, that's a good one. I don't know anything about it.
Vintage power tubes. There are some really, really great power tubes out there, and preamp tubes too. I mean, but I would say that it really depends on what it is that you want out of the amp. I'm a big fan of modern production power tubes because they're generally more robust under the conditions that most amps are running modern day. And with a new old stock tube, or what people call new old stock tubes, are usually vintage poles that are used. And even if it tests good when you get it, you don't know what the lifespan's like. You don't know what kind of environment that came from. You know, loose filaments and microphonics and all kinds of shit comes into play with vintage tubes. So you really have to research your seller and make sure that the money you're about to spend is justified.
Is it the kind of thing where you're just never sure, or can you be any absolutely sure that it's going to be okay, or is it always kind of a roll of the dice?
Well, I think it's a crapshoot unless you go with somebody that just does that all the time.
Yeah.
And there's a guy here in New York that we use called Lasse is the guy's name. He's down on Long Island, and that's what he does. He collects vintage used poles and new old stock.
So he knows what about it.
And when I call him to get a set of tubes, he wants to know the plate voltage, what kind of current draw I'm looking for. He's matching up sets of tubes to go with amps. He's not just selling you shit.
Right.
But
some people just find. I remember I was at Chris Davis's house one time, and he was telling me this kid brought him a box of tubes. Like, hey, can I check these out on your tube tester? And Chris was like, fuck off, man.
Yeah,
I'm running a business
testers.
here.
Yeah,
but he was it's the kind of thing where this guy. I guess the reason I brought this up was the example of this was some random guy didn't know anything about tubes. Found a box of them. Got a box of them at a garage sale, or got a box of them from some musician.
Sure.
And was just I'm going to sell these on eBay.
Yeah.
Let me test them out. Typical selfish bullshit people do.
I've had great results with vintage Sylvania 6L6s and 6V6s. RCA black plates and RCA smoked glass, 6V6s and 6L6s. But, I think for my money, I like to put a new set of power tubes in things because they're much more predictable. And then, I've done a lot of things with digging through my tube stash to tone chase amps, Usually what I end up with is some really old preamp tubes and brand new power tubes. And talking about JJs in the preamp, I never put JJs in a preamp. They sound like balls every time. I don't care what you do. If it's a 12AX7, don't put a JJ in that slot. JJs are great in a Fender reverb driver where they're subjected to a shit ton of abuse. But other than that, I don't put JJs in the preamp of anything. But JJ 6L6, 6V6, EL34, EL84, KT88, 6550, all the common power tubes I would definitely recommend in a JJ. I like the Savtech 12AX7 LPS. It's a long plate spiral filament copy of I don't know if it's a Mullard or a Genelec tube or some shit like that. Some old stuff. But other than that, I either use new old stock or I go with those 12AX7 OPSs preamp.
It's fascinating. I don't know anything about this stuff.
Well, a lot of it has to do with like, you know, especially the power tubes, like it's all about plate characteristics and the way that, you know, the dissipation works, and it's a lot of it's magic smoke and shit. It's, you know, it's like fucking everything about it is subjective. Like,
Right.
I could sell you a set of RCA black plates that sound great in my amp, and you could have the same amp that I have and plug them into yours and hate it.
And just because, and there wouldn't be any variation in sound,
Well, I mean,
or just because it's
what
like
I'm saying is
taste.
it might sound different between my amp and your
Oh,
amp,
okay, yeah.
and you also, it might not suit
And
your
it
taste
also might
the
just
way
be
it
like
does mine.
it could sound exactly the same, but you'd be like, I don't really like it.
Well, there's a lot of that too.
That's the tone chase idea, right?
Well, tone chasing is really about like taking the amp you have and figuring out what you want that amp to sound like, and then figuring out how you get from point A to point B.
Oh, okay.
And I do a ton of that shit.
What is that called when you're like actively on like a tone quest, or like when you're like, for instance, buying pedals, like searching for your sound, like
Well, I mean, yeah, I think
Is
they
that-
call that tone quest usually.
oh, tone
Yeah.
quest. So tone
Yeah, yeah.
chasing is this other.
Tone chasing is something totally
Oh,
different.
okay. That's what I have.
I
Like
mean, I guess it's all relative. You're basically
my
trying,
terms mixed up.
but you're basically just trying to figure out like how to get to your optimum idea
Yeah.
of the tone.
Right.
Yeah, I buy a shit ton of old tubes at flea markets, and you know,
Really?
yeah. Every time I go to a flea market, I come home with a crate of tubes. But
That's crazy.
so what you have to look for is you'll almost never find power tubes that you know, like 6Ls or 6Vs. You'll almost never find 12AX7s. What you will find are a lot of 12AU7s, 12AT7s, 12BH7s, and variants, BZ7s, and all kinds of shit. But you have to learn the military numbering too, the numbers, the ruggedized, hardcore variations of those same tubes. So, you know, you'll find like people like a 5751, which is a low gain dual triode. I found a shit ton of those in boxes from flea markets. Most people don't really know what that tube is, but it functions in the same place.
So what is that equivalent to?
That's somewhere between an AU and an AT7. So it's like a low to medium gain kind of preamp tube. But like Tom had that Tweed Blues Deluxe or Blues DeVille, the 410 thing.
Really? I never knew you had that.
He had it, and I
No, it
tone
must
chased
be.
that with vintage tubes, and every single tube in the preamp of that amp was a military tube. They were all 4-number tubes.
Wow.
There were no 12A anything. It was like
So it's
57 51s, 69 22, 59 65. There's a whole bunch of different ones. You have to make sure that the cross reference is, you know, the pinout is the same. You just got to check your tube data before you plug that shit in.
interesting. I thought there was like only those really generic, well, not generic, but the known names that you were talking about. I didn't realize there were so many like these variations.
Well, there's
I thought there was only like 6 or 7 tube types.
oh no, there's, Jesus Christ, I should show you the book.
Wow.
There's-
I thought there was like the classic ones. Or
There's
maybe-
hundreds.
Is it just because there's only certain ones people use to build amps?
There are only certain ones that go in amps. Yeah.
Okay, God, that must be why I'm thinking that.
Just yeah. I lost my train of thought there, but you know there
Hundreds
are
of tubes, you were saying, starting to say.
there's a shit ton of different tubes, but yeah, the military types tend to be a lot more rugged. But what you'll find in those, unfortunately, is that they were meant for guidance and tracking systems and like tank radios and shit.
That's crazy.
So even though they're more rugged and they'll stand up to more abuse electrically, you really have to sort through those a lot to weed out the microphonic ones. But there are really some great sounding tubes out there once you get that digging done.
Interesting. This is so interesting. It's like such a subset of music and amps that I never think about it all.
Well,
It's like you could
you know,
just spend your life like doing this.
so we have American tubes, like the consumer tubes, like we know the 12AX, 12AT, all that bullshit.
That's what, yeah, as I was saying, like I
But
need like those.
but you also have like the military, the 4 number setup. But then you have the European also,
Right.
which is where you get like the ECC 83 and 81 and 82 and fucking 88. And it's a whole bunch of different ones. You also get things like that's where all like the ELs come from.
Okay.
Like the EL34 and the KT88, all that shit comes from.
KT88, that's like the Billy Corgan.
I don't know, Billy Corgan, fucking jackball. You have to elaborate.
Like Marshall, I think it's like Simon's Dream era. Like Billy Corgan tones was apparently
Could
like
be.
a Marshall with KT, like modded to use KT88.
Yeah, you basically plug KT88s in and adjust the bias.
Right. But I mean like that because I know that's like one of those like classic tone things people talk about because that's the only reason I know what a KT88 is because I've heard that.
Well, KT is kinkless
story about
kinkless tetrode. Huh. So it's like the European equivalent of a pentode, but with modifications.
But so when it comes to this stuff, though, like what aspect, how much of it is really dictates the sound, and how much of it dictates how you play?
Well, I mean,
in your opinion, I mean, obviously subjective, but like.
Well, I mean,
feel like Billy Corgan would have sounded like Billy Corgan no matter what distortion he was fucking bumping it through.
Well, yeah.
I mean, yeah, it has a sound, of course, but
I mean, no 2 amps are the same, even between the same model from the same year.
Every musician has like a fingerprint.
Yeah, definitely. But there's, yeah, I don't know. I mean,
I'm just always fascinated by the tone chasing and the tone quest aspect because I don't know, I used to be more into that, and then I got that Sans amp, and like now I'm just like that's it, that's like what I like to use. But it's just funny because I feel like there's that whole side of the music world where it's almost like people are just searching for this endless search to find their tone, and then I don't know. Like I'm wondering if I should start thinking about this stuff more. It's super interesting.
Well, I don't know, man. I mean, it
I like. Well, the thing is, I got stuff that I like now, and I know what I like. So it's taking me a while to figure out what I like and what I don't like. That's the most important part.
Yeah.
Sometimes what you don't like really dictates what you like, and yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I'm like, yeah, it'd be fun to like.
So let me just.
If I had the bread. I don't have the bread for that. Cheddar.
JMA from Wikipedia. KT88 was introduced by GEC in 1956 as a larger variant of the KT66. It was manufactured in the UK by the MOV Marconi Osram Valve, subsidiary of GEC. Also labeled IEC Mullard, and in the US was marketed as Genelex Gold. Shit. Yeah, so the 6550 is the American, the KT88 is the English. Still rolling?
Still going, yeah. For a second, it was like doing its spinning wheel.
Yeah, 6550s are the somewhat interchangeable equivalent. Although I have found that 6550s and KT88s, while electrically the characteristics should interchange, sonically they don't always. A friend of mine has an orange head that we put KT88s in, and it was noisy as fuck and it sounded real bad with those in it. So I pulled some old 6550s that I had out of my stash, replaced his brand new KT88s with those 6550s, and it was like fucking night and day. Wow. So, and that's like an orange, it's an OR50.
Was it like a new stock one, or was it one of the originals?
No, it's a newer one. I think 6550s are probably my favorite too, though, sonically. Or the KT88.
Isn't there's like a PDAP 6558?
No, that's a 6505.
Oh, okay.
It's they couldn't use 5150 anymore because of Eddie Van Halen, so they had to
that's right. That's right. That's what I'm thinking.
Matt, yeah, that VC212E, man, I've never met anybody else that actually had one of those. It's amazing.
Yo, Twin, if you're still bumping around, might be a good time to I'm gonna open up your PO box.
Let me just finish one final comment on this tube.
Sure, dude.
JMA said the EHX preamp tube sounded just like my vintage ones. The 12AX7 LPS, if you try that tube in place of even the EHX, like the 12AX7A, you'll find that much rounder and much smoother, I think, in almost every application. But if you really want to go down the rabbit hole with preamp tubes, try to find some like the old Amperex Bugle Boy. It's got like the little dude printed on it. I have a bunch of those, and those are like the most fantastic fucking preamp tube I've ever heard. But same thing, you'll find like a whole stash of those, and 3/4 of them will be microphonic as hell because they're, you know, they were beat around and, you know.
What does that mean, microphonic?
When you tap on it and it goes, Bing! Yeah, literally is like. Well, what'll happen is if you put the tube shield on a microphonic tube, sometimes you'll get feedback for no reason.
Yeah.
It'll just go woo. It'll loop on itself.
It's like, yeah.
That's the extremes of it, you know. But there also can be loose filaments and shit when you flick it.
Well,
you hear
sometimes
like
there's like
sounds.
tube rattle, right? Like you can literally hear that.
Oh, tube rattle is, yeah, that's what I'm talking about, loose filaments and shit.
Yeah.
That's what, when a tube rattles, like you'll hear power tubes do it in small combos sometimes. That's the filament inside, the windings that actually heat it up.
Wow.
They're clinking around in the, so they wind them around basically 2 electrodes, almost like a Jacob's ladder, and there's a mica insulator in between that, and then there's spacers around it, and the screens wind around that, and then the plate goes down with spacers over top of all of that.
Huh.
So those filaments, those 2 prongs, the Jacob's ladder, and that wire that's wrapped around it, all that shit will move sometimes.
Whoa.
That's bad. That's real bad. Because if that moves too much, it'll break loose, and then it'll touch either the screens or it'll push something out and touch the plate, and then it blows the whole fucking thing up.
Oh my god, yeah.
You can, when that happens, it, before it blows fuses, it can get hot enough to melt holes in the side of the tube.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, look that up. It's crazy.
So if you ever hear a tube rattle, you should check it out immediately.
Well, I mean, it's not usually a disaster,
Yeah.
but it certainly
I think
can be.
that basement has like maybe a tube that rattles a little bit.
It's pretty unusual for tubes in a head to rattle enough to be a problem. It's usually combo amps where that's a real
Oh
issue.
yeah, this is always kind of like you can hear it if you know it.
Yeah, that
And, like I don't think you could hear it if you were recording with it.
that. Oh no, you wouldn't.
That's the thing I was
But
curious about is like well I don't give a shit, but like I've heard some people, I can't use this because you're gonna hear that in it, or they don't want to buy it because
that little bro amp thing that I built, you've never seen it, but it's a little combo 112.
Is that the band?
The guy from the band wanted to take it home. Yeah. The last time I had that thing here, I changed the power tube in it because it was doing that, and you could hear it like with the speaker mic.
Right.
You could hear it rattling.
Yeah, I guess it depends on the size of your amp.
And that 112 combo, the 45 watter that I built in there, what the fuck are these? The 7591As are the power tubes, and that one of those rattles. So if you're gonna record that amp, you'd have to retube it.
Yeah.
Like it rattles like hell.
Yeah.
But you know, those tubes are like $75, $80 a piece.
Oh.
So yeah, that's why it's got that pair in it, and that's it. Because
Jeez.
that has an EF86 in the front end too. That tube that was new old stock. That's probably a $125 tube.
No, wait, now what's the story with that amp? Where is it right now?
It's out there. Which one?
The little guy, the band one.
Oh, it's this guy Chris Zaloom's rehearsal space.
Oh.
I loaned it to him like a year and a half or 2 years ago. I don't really need it.
Were you gonna? I thought at one point you were talking about putting those in the production.
I thought about it. It's not worth it.
It's just too expensive.
Without doing some kind of crowdfund thing to like
I would love to hear
make
that,
money
that
on
thing
the front
sounds
end
like
to be able to make the fucking thing.
Where's
And you can hear it. It's what it sounds like. You heard it tonight.
Oh, that's what.
Half of Sempiternum was recorded with
I
that
didn't
amp.
know that. That's crazy.
Yeah. That tone, that's that amp.
That's funny.
That's that amp with the destruction fuzz pedal running into it, with that weird blue guitar I got.
Interesting.
I don't know. You probably never seen that guitar either. That's a weird one. Anyway,
I don't think I have.
on with the mail. You got scissors to open that with?
I think I can barb it. Yo, Twin. So, Twin sent us this package to the PO box. I think it's tapes. We got it a couple days ago, but like I said, it's been chilling in my closet like a Christmas present because I wanted to wait for the stream to open it. I've just been backlogged with shit on my plate, but let's see what we got.
The camera's kind of like not totally on you. Let me. I know this is probably going to be fucking foolish.
Well, wait, I'll just bring it closer.
No, oh, I moved it already. Too late.
Let's see what we got, fam. We're gonna take the peanuts out because Jay hates the peanuts.
Oh God.
I'm gonna sprinkle them all over in the studio.
Fuck that. The static stick every goddamn thing.
Hey Mike, here's a tape for you and Jay. Enjoy the tunes. Twin parentheses Tom. Thank you, Tom. Check it out. We got something right here. We got the logo on there. Yo, this is awesome.
What is it?
Let's see. Let's see. Check it out. That's fucking sick. Awesome. Thanks, Tom. This is dope. We got the eBay tape on here. Let's pop it open. Let's get it open. Get it. This little note here. Yeah, this is so much fun getting these. Thank you so much, guys. Alright, if I could just get it open now. Sorry for the peanuts. Oh, man. Alright. Hopefully we're coming back. Yo, I don't know. My package crashed the stream. Let's see here. Hopefully it comes back. Are we back? We just opened up the strawberry sleepover tapes. That kind of matches the... we could just put that right there on Ganesha. That's pretty dope. It's back. Yeah, we were just checking out Twins tape. Strawberry sleepover. It's pretty cool. I don't know if my camera's focusing right, but...
Thanks for the tapes.
Yeah, this is awesome, Twin. Thank you.
The stream went down when we were saying all our thank
I know. It was
thank you.
Hopefully some of it. Yeah, thank you so much, Twin. This is awesome.
Who loaded your shells?
Yeah, these came out really nice, man. I'm excited to bump this. Yeah, so Twins Band Strawberry Sleepover. We got some tapes here. We don't know how much it's sent out. Hey, Matt. Twin sent us some tapes from his band. Strawberry Sleepover. So we're... oh, you missed it. Yeah. Yeah, I guess the stream dropped as we were opening it at the big unveil.
Easy says, evil twin reverbs are louder. Then what?
It matches the... We could just put this like right here. Check it out. It matches the backdrop. I ordered them blank and then printed them myself and printed out. Oh, that's awesome.
Was it... Who preloaded the shells, though?
I think he did. It sounds like... Ordered them blank and then printed them.
Usually you order them at a specific length blank. And then
oh, I see, I see.
So that's a preload.
I thought you meant like who recorded them.
No.
My brain is not working today. This is 6. Sweet Emily, Magic Guy, Bye Bye Butterfly, Mirror Maze, Wipe. Dude, this is great, man. I'm all about this DIY aspect of this. It looks so cool. Handmade in USA.
Huh.
Let's try to sneak in here. Make sure this thing doesn't... Oh, I've heard of Delta.
So were they loaded? They were loaded to your specific
length
requirements? That would be my guess. The stream actually looks a lot clearer now for some reason.
Well, Will was saying that before. I think it's because the stream goes like through your head. Like your body acts as like a better antenna for it.
That's super fucked up.
Yeah, I think that's what Will was saying before. When I was like behind it, it was like way better. So I don't know. Yeah, this is sick though. Thank you, Twin. I'm so glad I waited to the stream to open them so that I could open them with Jay, and we each got our own copy. So it worked out perfectly. Oh yeah, we got this little note in here too, which is really dope. It's like Han drawn.
Han drawn.
It's awesome. It says, "Hey Mike, here's a tape for you and Jay. Enjoy the tunes. Twin."
Yo, pull it back a little bit. You're like in the dark when you're showing it.
Oh shit.
Keep going. Back more.
Back more?
Yep. I don't know if you can even see it now.
Yeah. Thank you, Twin. This is sick. Live. Yeah, opening him up live on the stream. This is sick. I put him on a little note in my my artwork here.
And yeah, it's all good on the packing peanuts. I just hate those fucking peanuts. But
I
they're
wish.
a necessary evil. We use them in business every single day.
What were you doing last time I was here?
I was packing that 424 for that guy.
Oh, that's
the
right.
one I fixed.
That's right.
Fucking peanuts went
peanuts.
everywhere.
I wish I had my camera because it would have made such a great.
This is a small package, so they're
great
probably only like
oh yeah,
50 peanuts in there to start with.
No, Jay's he was messing around with like thousands of peanuts.
Yeah, it's fucking pissing me off.
Trying to put them all in there. It was hilarious. Like I said, I wish I had my camera. It would have made really great fodder for some B-roll.
Nice.
So maybe next time. So always bring your camera, kids. Well, I could have put my phone back. Twin, thank you so much, Tom. This is fucking sick. I'm really excited to play this, and I don't know. Thank you so much for sending them. It's always fun to get PO Box mail and open them up on the stream. I think we got Matt's 4-track a couple of weeks ago now.
Yeah.
But there was something else too. The CCP cassette chain project. Matt, we still have to resolder that joint on the back, but I'm gonna use that one for something special. I think for something.
So Easy said my evil twin is louder than my 75.
Oh, Easy, what up?
Channel anyway. Well, I'm pretty sure the evil twin was 120 watt, wasn't it? Isn't that the one with like 6 power tubes?
That's like a newer one, right?
That's probably 90s or maybe early 2000s. I'm not really even sure. I think I've only ever worked on 2 of those.
I've never, yeah.
That's kind of an oddball. Not a well-liked one either.
I got all the peanuts back in here, Jay, so don't worry.
And the 75 twin is a master volume pre-ultra linear. Should be. That should be plenty loud for anything you could ever want to do with a combo amp. Matt.
Yeah, my super reverb is 40 watts. That thing's fucking loud.
I've gigged with 30 to 50 watts for like the last almost 6 years.
Yeah, that's why everybody wants like the mid-size /
Yeah, your 68 twin should be rated for either 75. I'm trying to remember. It's either 75, 80, or 100 watts. I can't remember what the back plate says, but
damn.
I wouldn't get too caught up in that anyway.
Yeah, isn't that like kind of not true?
Well, it takes, what's the ratio? 10? No. Is it 50 dB to make, or 50 watts to make the 3 dB change? I think it's something like that. It's some like ridiculous ratio. So people get caught up in the difference between 50 and 100 watts. Like that 100 is, you know, it might offer more clean headroom, but the overall output potential is not going to be that much greater.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's crazy.
There's math that proves all of that shit.
Maths. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
I do know that, like, that's what, like with the Champ, you know, it says it's like 7 watts or 6 watts.
Yeah, 6.
But that thing's, I don't know.
I don't even care. Like, the Champ fucking rips.
Dude, I feel like it's like, I feel like it rips at like 12 watts, you know?
I rebuilt one.
Isn't there a difference between clean wattage or like solid state wattage and tube wattage?
Well, I mean, it's all.
Seems like the tube stuff will cook the solid state stuff any day of the week in terms of wattage. Like if you had a 20 watt solid.
It's about the way that it's tested and rated and weighted when they do the tests, and it's a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah.
If you want to know what the output of something is, you get a giant dummy load resistor. You fucking plug it into the output. You feed a sine wave in. You monitor the total harmonic distortion, and you take your reading. If you take that reading at 1% THD or whatever, that's theoretically still clean headroom. What most people are rating their amps at is like balls the fuck out, as loud as it gets, full distortion, no holds barred, and yeah, that Champ will probably put out like 20 watts if you did that.
Yeah.
But that's like fucking balls to the wall, everything maxed out,
not gonna last that volume
line level input and shit. It's fucking crazy. So, assault shit.
I just feel like a 5 watt solid state versus like a 5-6 watt Champ. You know, it's gonna be a very big difference.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. I did a fiber Champ just like yours yesterday.
Yeah, that's right.
It came in with a fucking.
Well, yeah, what was up with it?
Somebody had started to modify it, and they got to a point where it didn't make the right sounds anymore. Like the tone controls didn't work.
Oh,
The volume didn't do anything from zero or from one to halfway. There was nothing, and then at halfway it turned on and made sound. It had a modern shitty eminence speaker in it, and yeah, so I went in and reversed their mods and put it back to how it was supposed to be. And then I did some of my own modifications to it based on some of the shit that they put in. It had a push-pull pot on it, and I didn't have the right value to replace it. So I used the push-pull pot to vary the mids, so it has like a gain boost, basically.
Whoa.
I put a filter in the negative feedback loop to push the low end out a little more because it was real tight sounding. Yeah, and then I had that was a 79, that amp. But I had a 73 Utah 8-inch pincushion speaker, which is like the four corners basically. It's got like ears almost to it, which is similar to what would come in that amp. So I had one of those here that was in fucking great shape. So I sold them that instead of that stupid eminence that was in there. So it sounds like it's supposed to sound.
That's
fucking,
cool.
So that's a good sounding amp. It's up for, I think he's got it up for either $575 or $595 in the shop right now.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Dude,
He'll get it.
They sell for that much?
Yeah, he'll get it.
Jesus. They've like doubled in price over the past like 5 years.
So
or
let me
less.
back up here. Matt bought a Nakamachi 3-head DR2. Yeah, I'm glad that worked out. The Nakamachi 3-heads are supposed to be some of the best there are out there. People say the Dragon is the best one, but the Dragon is also like the $1,300 or $1,500 one. But I think from everything I've seen and heard and read and watched, the Nakamachi machines are probably the best you can get.
Oh yeah.
So I'm glad you're digging that. Yo, Will.
What up, Easy?
I got a Vox Pathfinder, and it's way too hissy, especially when recording. Is there anything you can do about that apart from mic placement? I would figure out why it's hissy, Will. Trying to remember the Vox Pathfinder. That's EL84s. Let me look that up.
Yo, Twin said, I really like my Blues Junior, and it's way more convenient to gig with, but my bandmates always give me shit about it since it's small. Yo, just get if they, like, people get so caught up in visuals, but I don't know. Tell them to bring you a unloaded Marshall cab and just stick that in the back of it. You know.
Tell them they can kiss your fucking ass unless they're buying you a bigger rig.
That's actually a way better way of putting it.
Yeah, fuck you. I actually was in a band with a guy one time that I was playing that Pro Reverb, and he had like a 215 bass cab and like a Bassman like fucking 135 head or some bullshit thing. You know, so I had like my little Silverface 212, and he had his giant fucking thing. He's like, man, you really should like bring out the 412 and a head when we play instead of that. Like, you want to fucking carry it?
Yeah.
Do you want to carry it?
Yeah.
Like, I'm looking for a rig that fits in the trunk of a Honda Civic. So, unless you're going to rent a van and carry my shit down the stairs for me and set it up on stage for me, fuck you.
Yeah.
And guess what? Like, my 40-watt 212 was smoking your 215 135 anyway, so don't worry about it.
But people get caught up in
appearances. So I'm looking up about this.
Yeah, just get an empty Marshall cab and stick it in the back. No one will know the difference.
I'm looking up about this Pathfinder. How come I can't find any fucking just point and click info on this? This is fucking ridiculous. Come on.
Yeah, actually, I use the Super a lot. I don't know if Jay was ever using it with Jay, but for a while I used the Super and like a Yamaha PA for the drum machine and the vocals. That's what I practiced with for a long time. Oh yeah, I actually did the last year. I played that show with Reckless Eric, and I used the Super as the oh man.
You drop that again?
I don't know. It said Santa off. Oh, okay, it's still there. I don't have wheels on it, but that's what I was saying. Like I literally took off every piece of the super reverb, like the back panel. I took out the reverb tank, that, and I swapped out the speakers that were in there. There was these old ass 70s, 80s speakers, whatever, like mismatched pairs. So I wound up just getting rid of them, and I got the cheapest like Jensen speakers I could get, mainly because of the weight of them, and also because I don't know, they sounded fine.
Yeah, the Alnico Jensens.
For what I'm trying to do with them, yeah, it's like they're super light. I think four of them was the same weight as the one Fender Utah speaker that has like the original speaker in there.
Yeah.
So that was my big thing with the Super was. It's funny. Actually, I have another story about this. Funny, but that was my whole thing with it was because it was fucking brick, man. Like carrying that thing around, and
Yeah.
mainly because my car, I have like a Sentra, a Nissan Sentra. It's not huge, and it's just awkward as fuck to like get it in and out. So I was like, I need to lighten the load on this thing. I'm gonna like tweak my back out. But it just sounds so good, like that amp. I love the sound of it, and it's just got a great clean sound, and it breaks up really nicely. It's actually a blackface one that's in a silver face. It's a transition year model or whatever.
JMA, that's a solid state amp. So probably what he's looking at would be putting a small cap in front of the first gain stage at the IC, maybe like 100 picofarad to ground to lop off a bunch of that fucking super high, top end shit.
I don't have wheels on it though.
But otherwise, I would agree. Playing around with the input grid resistor, and especially capacitance to ground, you got to do like Miller capacitance calculations though, or else the roll-offs get fucking whacked out quick.
Jeez, I don't know anything about that.
Blackface cuts with silverface cosmetics. Yeah.
Transition.
Yep.
68. Trip edge, yeah.
68.
It's a dope sounding amp, man. That thing sounds great. And people always ask me, well, that's what's hilarious.
Someday you're talking about which one, the
Super.
Oh, that's a drip?
It's a drip.
I didn't know it was a drip.
Yeah,
I thought your fiber champ was though.
No, it's 73.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
One day I'm going to give you the right skirted knob for that, because your first knob drives me fucking insane every time I see it.
I bought a bunch of just like knockoff replacement knobs from China or something.
I have Fender skirt knobs that we can put right on that.
Yeah, I grabbed, because a couple of them were broken on the basement too.
Yeah.
And then there was one broken on there, so I was like, fuck it.
I'm pretty sure I have several.
Oh, are you talking about the yellow knob?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. I thought you were talking about one of the other skirted ones. Yeah, I bought a bunch of skirted knobs off from like China on eBay. They were just like, they're like
re-pop.
I don't know. I just needed ones that fit. And,
JMA, that input grid resistor, 68K standard, but anywhere from 10K all the way up to like around 100K, depending on what you're trying to do to the signal, works too. If you ever are fucking around with a really hot gain stage on a tube amp and you're looking for a way to not feed it quite so much, that 100K is sweet. I redid a trainer head one time, and I was looking for a way to tame not only some frequencies, but I wanted the gain of the stage, but I couldn't do it without clipping the tube coming in. So that ended up being the solution. I upped the input impedance, and I swung that grid resistor. But yeah.
Oh, that's what I just remembered. One other point I was going to make about the speakers.
Oh yeah.
Because people always comment about, like, remember one time I brought that Super and the guy was like, "Are you sure that's going to be loud enough? Like, that's a pretty. It looks like a half stack. Like, it's pretty fucking big." I was like, "Yeah, man, this thing cranks." And he was like, afterwards, he's like, "Oh man, like, when I saw you bring that in here, like, I didn't."
Where was that?
I don't know.
When we played the Moon?
No.
Oh.
This is no. I'm not even gonna say it because I know. I'll tell you.
It wasn't a show I played?
No. But when I tell you where it was, you're gonna be like, you're gonna fucking laugh. But
Yeah.
And then the other thing that's hilarious too is like some people. You never know what people's background is with stuff, but I feel like there's a little bit of snobbery with the speakers and those Jensen ones that I have. They're like cheap,
But look.
But the thing, what's funny is that as much of a reputation,
dudes will come up to me after shows and be like, "That sounded fucking sick. Like, what do you got in there?" And I put like "Be Cool Cowboy" stickers on the back.
Yeah,
And I'm
yeah.
just like, "Oh, they're just like custom for my band," or I make some shit up. But it's like, it's just so funny. If you don't know what something is, it completely changes your perception when you hear it.
Well,
Because they're like, "Oh, this sounds great." They see this silver face amp, but they don't realize the speakers are like these like, red light special, blue light special speakers that. I just got the lightest fucking speakers I could find and was like, "Fuck it, I don't care."
the people that really get caught up with the speaker game, usually, this is coming from working in the fucking Recon shop.
Yeah, you know what it's all about.
A guy will get like, let's say he bought a 68 fucking Super. So he's going to call up because it came with modern Jensens in it, and he doesn't like modern Jensens because they're modern Jensens. Not because there's anything wrong with the speaker, but he doesn't like those. So then we have to find speakers from 67 to 69 someplace, and then build those so he can put those in there.
Yeah.
They'll be the ones that should have come with it in a similar year range, but they're not necessarily the better speaker.
Okay. Oh, that's interesting.
When they're custom rebuilt, they'll be the better speaker.
Yeah, sure.
But
sure.
But
even you're saying even the ones that used
apples
to
to apples, like one of those. Let's say it was a Utah that was supposed to come in that. So that Utah in brand new stock form versus that new Jensen that you just put in there in stock form, 1960s to 2018.
Yeah,
But if you could travel to the top, so I would guess between the sound of those two is fucking negligible.
Oh, really?
Really.
Oh, wow. I thought you were going to say, yeah.
Because it's all the same shit. Like,
that's what I think
so
is fucking
here are the
hilarious,
things,
man. That's what's hilarious.
Here are the things that make a difference in the sound of a speaker. Voice coil diameter, dust cap choice, cone weight, spider weight. 4 variables.
So how many permutations is that? Combinations, what is that? 4 times 16 different?
Millions. Because there's infinity numbers of spiders and cones have been built over the years. But, like,
But yeah, I mean...
The difference is really, like, we do this shit. We put, like, an assembly together and we'll put it on the scale. And, like, for, like, let's say we're building a Celestian Blue, right? That assembly, I think, weighs 14 grams or 13 grams. And then you take, like, the assembly that goes into a C12N Jensen, right? You put that on the scale, and that's, like, 10 grams or whatever. Like, that's not that much difference.
Yeah.
That's a difference of three tiny paper clips.
Sure.
So why do those two speakers have opposing followings? I don't know. Something about that combination of parts that people like better in one than the other, but the assembly's the same. It's a fucking magnet with a hole, with a fucking pole piece, with a coil that goes like this in it, with a cone that goes like this in it, and a fucking gasket. It's all the same shit.
Yeah.
I don't care what the fuck you build it with. I just built those 2 Goodman's 12s. Did I show you those?
Is that on Instagram? Yeah.
Those Goodman's 12s, like, I was looking for parts for those. So I pulled out the Celestian bin on it. So they're built with fucking Celestian parts. But do the Celestian parts necessarily sound any better than the parts that would have been in it from Goodman's? I don't know.
Yeah.
Probably not.
See, that's super interesting because I always wonder, like, how much of that stuff.
Half of that shit is fucking.
Well, that's what I mean.
In people's heads, man.
That's my exact point because it's like people don't. And that was what I was saying to Twin jokingly about his Blues Junior is like. Yeah. Then put the fucking thing in an empty Marshall stack, and people will be like, "Oh my god!" Like, look it up online. There's tons of pictures where like people will, from behind, it's like it'll be like I don't know, a famous band playing, and there's like literally a fucking vibro champ in a Marshall, on like a wall of Marshall stacks. I'm like, that's what the stage sound is, but it's like perception. Like if somebody sees something bigger, they think it has a bigger sound, or it just they think you're more popular, more famous because you have a huge rig or something. It's like. It's all about that. That's the thing. It's all about a look. It's all about perception. It's not. That's why it's fucking bullshit because it's not about the sound. It's about the look of it. And I don't know. I think that's the whole thing with the 4-track to bring it back to what the channel's all about. Although everything is about the channel, but I mean like, it's not about what it looks like. It's about the sound of it. Yeah. And that's why the 4-track works for me because I'm fucking listening to it, not looking at it on a fucking screen.
Well, everything is like that. Like music is sound. Music is not display.
But Yeah, exactly. But I feel like in today's world, or like,
Zero fucks.
you know, what's the joke about
I give no fucks about
being
that.
being a band is like you need like a good look and you need money or something.
I don't give a
that's
fuck
what,
about that.
That's what they fucking say.
I don't care what you recorded
That's
with.
like the music business, you know.
I don't care what the instrument is. I don't care what it looks like. I don't care what pickups are in it, what cable hooks it to what effects. I don't care what amp you run it through or what speakers in that amp. I don't care what mic goes on it. I don't give a fuck what you recorded on.
Yeah.
In the end, all you got is what's in the headphones.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit what it looked like on the screen or what the LEDs did.
Yeah.
None of that. It's all bullshit. It's all fucking
bullshit.
bullshit.
Good, it is good, yeah.
Yeah. So let me go back. What do you want to know about Leslie speakers? Interfacing them to a guitar is really not that difficult generally. If you can email me the model number, I can get you the schematic for it, and we can figure out how you can pin that out to hook it up.
Oh, wait a second.
Somebody got timed out.
What? Yeah. What happened with that guy? He's going off.
View deleted message. I think Trump is a Jesus. Trump equals Jesus. Support Trump, bros. He's our president and last savior. The world needs Trump. And Trump needs us now.
Thank you.
Well, I'm glad that fucking shit got timed out.
Thanks for your recording questions, Hans. Appreciate you, bro. All right, so Leslie Cab.
Yeah, I mean, rotaries are fucking badass, man. I love those things. I built one out of the Leslie licensed rotary board out of I think it was a Con organ. My brother has it in LA now. But, yeah, really super fun.
I want to get my George Harrison on.
So, Leslie HL822. Well, I'll write that down and look it up. See if I can help you figure that out. What was that? HL 822?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll look that up and send you an email. I don't want to get too far down the hole on that. But,
Mike, music is a business, and if you want to be a big success in it, then you have to play the game. That's a valid point, Easy.
You do have to play the game, but
you can't always be the curmudgeon in the corner. I agree. That's a good point.
I mean,
I guess if you want, yeah, that's your goal. Like, I don't know. I feel like my goal is just to have fun at this point. But yeah, that's the whole thing, you know.
Music is definitely a business, but I think compromising your own principles has to be stopped past a certain degree.
Well, that's like the whole thing we were talking about before.
And
the
there's
stream, too, in our private conversation.
Yeah. But anyway.
But yeah, that's a good point. Like, I mean, you gotta play the game if you wanna be in it. But I guess I don't really want to be in it that badly.
I do, but I'm really only willing to play it.
We'll play it on your terms, right?
As far as it serves me and by my own. So I'll never be famous
it's
or
just a
rich
shame,
or
like
successful.
the artistry of it. I feel like is just doesn't even matter. It's just all about having it be monetized and what something looks like, and
yeah, I don't give a fuck about that.
You know,
hate it.
It's just funny that is, you know, what it turned into. You take something that's like genuine expression of somebody's inner, I don't know, art, whatever you think art, whatever the definition of art is, and then trying to commodify that into some, like smashing that into like a certain cookie cutter shape to fit your needs to make money. Like, I think that's just fucking stupid. I don't know.
Yeah.
But maybe, yeah, I don't know. That's a valid point though, Easy. If you want to be in the biz, you gotta play the game.
Yeah, but I don't know.
I just want to make up my own rules.
Yeah, I mean,
and that's how we do.
I feel like if you're not careful about how you play the game will very quickly play you. So
yeah.
You have to be careful about what you allow your involvement to be.
Right.
Especially when it's not your world. You know, you're trying to climb into like somebody else's game, right?
And see, that's...
So you can get a piece of their change, although they're taking your art to make that change.
Yeah.
But
well, yeah, I mean, that's like the class.
There's a whole clusterfuck that goes on there. That's you know, not something I'm really a fan of.
Yeah. And I think that goes back to the whole you know mantra of the channel lately of do something you want to do today, because I feel like in that idea, you can get so wrapped up in the business aspect of it, and it's like, is that really what you want to do? Like, do you really want to owe like a record label a shit ton of money and have to go tour around for years to pay them back? You know.
Personally, I'd be kind of okay with that.
I don't know if I would be if it you know, I guess it would really depend, but I guess what I'm trying to say is like, yeah, if that's what you want to do, then more power to you, like go for it. But
yeah,
if it's not what you want to do, and you know, I guess that's something I've been grappling with lately is like just thinking about doing that stuff and touring, and I'm just like, I don't even know if that's what I want anymore. I don't even think I want that anymore, you know. It's like I almost feel like if that shit just fell in my lap today, I'd be like, fuck it, like I don't even care. Like I mean, I guess if it made a certain amount of money for me to support myself and my family, like okay. But then, you know, you wouldn't see family that much, and then, you know, I don't know. I guess it would really depend on the situation, but it's just funny that as you get older, and I think those are the things I've been grappling with on the channel lately, is where you were and where you want to be and how that changes, and where you are now, you know, and where you want to go in the future. It's a constant reassessment and a constant pivoting of a spot on the horizon that you're moving toward, and I don't know. It's like if you don't realize that that goal that you had 5 years ago is not going to fucking work, and you're just walking to a dead end. Like at some point, you're going to have to come to terms with this is not working, and it's time to pivot, or it's time to give this up, or it's time to figure out what you really want. Because maybe what you really want has changed. Like I said in one of the later videos, like yeah, I used to want to be like, you know, an indie rock guy, you know, like an Alchemist or one of those dudes, you know, like Doug Marsh. Like those are some of my favorite bands as a kid growing up, and now it's like. You know, I think I just really romanticize that shit, and it's like I don't even know if I really want that anymore. You know, I mean, yeah, it'd be fucking cool, but what does that even mean? Like, I don't even know. I don't know. Like the whole thing, I think it just comes down to like just reassessing what you want. If what you want is to play the music business game and do the music thing, like fucking.
Well, I think a lot of people.
I don't know. It's just not what I want.
I think a lot of people almost accidentally end up in the music business game because they want like that rock star tour life thing.
Right.
You know, without realizing that they're sort of portions one of the other, you know. But you know, touring is the fun part. All the bullshit and like executives and all the fucking, you know, the criteria and quotas and stuff, that's all the fucking shitty part, man. So if you can do any of the rest of it, the touring and the exposure without them, that's what you should be doing.
I think the whole thing is really hard to do, and you know, I know a guy that is a friend, well, not a friend of a friend, and I just kind of ran into him at a party, and he was telling me about a band his brothers, and I'm not going to get into the gist of it, but basically, you know, they said, yeah, those 30 minutes when we're playing our set on the stage is the most amazing 30 minutes.
This is the one that's on that famous label, right?
Yeah, and it was like, yeah, I guess I told you the story, and you know, it was like. Yeah, that's amazing. We're up there for those 30 minutes, but the other 23 hours and 30 minutes in that day are not all fucking puppy dogs and ice cream.
People realize the idea of tours also. I mean, it's kind of, you know, they don't realize the advanced hardship that comes with a lot of touring experiences.
I feel like that's kind of my thing too. Is like it's so easy to romanticize like. A great writer like Ernest Hemingway, like oh man, that guy must have had like this crazy awesome life. Like, guy was just like fucking sitting around like writing, you know, like who knows?
Drinking fucking
it's like
whiskey sours and shit.
We romanticize this shit to the nth degree, but it's like the reality of it and actually being in that situation. Like maybe if you actually got to that situation, got to that point, and you realize like this isn't what I wanted. I thought this was like in my head. I had romanticized this or built this up to some sort of like. End goal or some place I want it to be, and then it's like you realize that place is not, maybe doesn't even exist, and it's not even what you want.
Well,
it's just a fucked up thing to like grapple with.
But man. I think people look at the music business and idolize it for its high points, which is the parts that you always see.
Right.
You know, playing giant festivals and all these crazy tours and like, you know. All this bullshit stuff, but like
radio,
like you're not looking at the low side.
Yeah,
like the low side is
like the social media thing. You're looking at somebody's fucking highlight reel.
Yeah, well, like the low side of touring is like, yo, I'm not sure we got enough gas money to get to the next show. Yo, nobody showed up to this show, so the promoter's not paying us. So like, we can't get dinner tonight. And the
Yo.
place we were supposed to sleep, like, that dude didn't come to the show either, so now we don't have a place to crash at. You know.
Yo, we still owe the label like tens of thousands of dollars. How are we gonna pay them back?
Yeah. It's you know, that shit is real out there. And those agreements are legally binding, so
Yeah, right. That's a whole nother level. I mean,
yeah.
it's you know, it's like the I don't know. Yeah, I guess there's plenty of analogies we could use. I feel like it's like if you wanted to be a cop or something and all you watched was fucking Law and Order.
What did he say? That it was a house party and the house had no idea there was going to be a band. R.I.P. Will. Fucking fuck, man. I think we may be coming back.
Yeah, it's live now.
I'm just gonna hang out here for a second. I don't know where we fucking died out there, but I was going off on some TV and movies and everything's a lie.
Yeah, well, you know, like,
it's probably for the best part that
the thing about touring though, to like
more tinfoil.
top quality.
It's my fucking brain. The signal's going is using my head as a fucking isn't that fucked up?
That is fucked.
It just needed a meat bag. It's like I don't know if there's so many people coming in that's crashing it. It's not like I'm not saying there's so many people coming. It's like it seems like a lot of people are filtering in and out though. So I don't know if that affects like I don't know. Probably doesn't.
Are we back?
Oh, it's like the off-stream qualific.
Are we back?
It looks like Twin says we're back. I don't know. I put my tinfoil hat on.
I don't know what the fuck's going on. It's this goddamn weather, I think.
Something to do with the clouds, man. I don't know.
It's sort of back, but I'm looking like...
All night it's been like...
I'm looking bit crushed like crazy.
Bit crusher app. Mike, stand... Okay. I'm literally doing that.
So, yeah. Yeah, the stories about touring, though, and, like, live in places with no shows, that shit. One time I drove a band all the way across fucking Wisconsin, and we got to the place that we were supposed to play. We walked in, and the promoter wasn't there, and the guy who ran the venue let us know that he had checked the band out and that he didn't think the band was the right fit for the club, so we wouldn't be playing that night. And we had just driven all the way across the state of Wisconsin to do it.
Why didn't this guy like let you know? There's no way.
I don't know. But we checked into a hotel like in town, and then we went to the club to like meet the dude, and he told us there was no fucking way. So we were already on the hook for the hotel and all that travel. So
that's so messed up, man.
That was lovely. It was I think it was called the WJJO bike night, something like that. That seems to stick in my head. Was that some kind of like wings and ribs joint out there someplace?
Weird. All right, I think we may be safe. All right, I'm gonna take off my tinfoil hat. All right.
Yeah, I was hopping around on one foot. Well, I don't know how much. I guess that we didn't miss too much. Quality is top. Only died for 10 minutes. 8-bit. Stand on one leg. With your hand on your head. Yeah, I was tapping my head, rubbing my stomach. It was crazy, man.
I'm not sure that is it fucking working. Oh yeah, okay. I see you. I saw you move.
I don't know. Yeah, I feel like the barometer is this thing. Like if I see myself
wait,
moving on here, I'm like,
like,
this thing is so janky. It's like, yeah, this thing gets it. Yeah.
Oh man. Well,
yeah, that was a fucking. I feel like I'm in a really weird place today, so I apologize if I was like a fucking zombie or saying like negative loner down shit. Maybe that's not even.
I don't know. I fucking always say shit like that.
I just feel like today. I'm just like on a whole nother like at a whole low. I don't know what is up today. I think it's just the weather. It's just fucking gnarly out. We had a string of a couple beautiful days here, and I was actually walking Tim's dog a couple days, and that was fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she's actually in the first vlog. If you guys have seen the vlog 001, I forget which one it is. Why do what you can with what you got. I think she's like Molly, that's her name, the dog. But I've been walking around. It's been fucking awesome. It's been so nice out. But today was just like so shitty. But yeah.
You got vacation coming up soon, don't you?
Yeah, me and the wife are going to the Grand Canyon. That's gonna be fun. After the Kickstarter ends, actually. That should probably mention that Kickstarter's ending. I think in like 7 days or 6 days. So I think all you guys are already probably did your thing with it. So thank you so much for checking it out and supporting it if you supported it, and just supporting it. In any way you can, even just like, this looks awesome, or watching the vids, so highly appreciated. But just the final bump for that, because I think next week, next Tuesday we're doing a special stream.
We are?
Yeah, because it's gonna be the Kickstarter telethon. So we're gonna do like a.
So does that mean I need to be at your house on
Tuesday?
Tuesday?
If you want. I mean,
I didn't know about that.
I'm gonna set up your landline.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm joking that it's like a telethon because like the Kickstarter ends up.
Oh boy, I hope they're not doing the live stream at Jay's cabin. Fuck. I hope this comes back. I just want to give one last bump to everything that we're working on. Yeah, so I don't know if you guys can still hear it, but yeah, Kickstarter's coming to a close. Telethon next Tuesday. Stream on Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm going to be going away the week after that, so I'm not sure. We're going to try to do some different stream days, or we might take a day off. I don't know. I don't want to take a day off, but it's every day, bro. But so, yeah. So what I was saying, thanks to everybody who's supported Wonders of Color, that new thing I put out, just to get it out there. It's at my band's Bandcamp. I'll link it, but becoolcowboy.bandcamp.com if you want to check it out. And then Jay's band's got their PR campaign coming up. The video that we shot, Jay and the supervisor had a bunch of B-roll. We came in, did some live shooting, edited it together here in a day. It's fucking awesome. And that's going to be coming out. When is it coming out? Maybe tomorrow?
I think it's coming out tomorrow, but I'm waiting to hear back from the PR guy tonight with the final press copy on it.
Oh, wait, we actually have a question from Kickapoo149. How to get good sound direct and bass LOL on a 4-track.
Where do you see that?
It's right. I think Twin put the link for the
Oh yeah.
Kickapoo, welcome to the stream. It all starts with your bass, my friend. What kind of strings you got on there? How new or old are the strings?
What is your tone control setting? What are the pickups?
Yeah.
And also the EQ on the channel coming in, gain settings coming in.
Yeah.
That's sort of a tough one.
Yeah, without knowing the setup, but I think everything always starts with the source.
I think most of the time when I've recorded bass with a 4-track, it ends up being a little like sort of in your face and a little bit on the thin side, and that's kind of.
Well, one pedal I used to use, I mean, I'm not recommending that you get a pedal, but maybe you have something similar. It was like a Boss Bass EQ from the 80s Japan. It's like the GE-B7 or GE-7B. It was a weird one. It's like one of the brown Boss pedals. It was like a series of like 5 different Boss effects they came out with 80s. But anyway, it's an EQ with some sliders. Like, what I'm saying is, like, I used to run my, another use for, actually this guy. If you have something like this, it's fucking dope for that usage. I have this is the Behringer version, but I have the Art Tube MP, and that's really good for bass too, because you throw on a little 20 decibel pad, or you can really max the gain out, get a good sound. This one's a little different than the one I have, so I think mine has plus 20, so you can really get a good sound. But I would say it's all going to come down to shaping the tone before actually recording it. So get the sound that you want before you actually try to record it. What do you guys think? Do you think that covers it? Any other guys have any other recommendations?
I think it pretty much covers it, yeah.
Yeah, whatever you can use, Kickapoo, before get the sound that you want before you're going to record. So if you need a pedal to adjust, equalization. If you want to use the onboard EQs, you can try bumping the low. You know, you can cut the highs and bump the low EQs on the 4-track. You know, you could play around with the mids if you like, depending on what kind of sound you want. You know, are you going for like a distorted bass sound? Or are you going for just like a low ghost bass, like Beck kind of bass, where it's like you feel it, not so much hear it? You know, what are you going for? I guess a lot of factors, but I guess to reiterate and not sound like a broken 4-track, get the sound that you want before you get the sound you want in your headphones in your room on the amp or through the 4-track before you record it. That would probably be the best thing. And then if you have old strings, get new strings. Like, I don't know, man, like bass strings. I noticed I made some of the best stuff I made was when I put like brand new strings on. I mean, obviously strings are fucking expensive, but if they're really old, you know, and you're gonna record like an album's worth of shit, or you're gonna record a lot, consider getting a $20 pair of strings. You know, put some new strings on there. Bass strings, people don't change them very often, but it makes a big difference. Like, it's like guitar, you know. Yeah. So basically, what it comes down to is make sure your source sounds the best it can be. Make sure that you can play the parts that you can play, that you want to play. I'm sure that you can, but it may sound like simple, but you know, it all comes down to the player and what it sounds like before you record it. So that would be my take. I hope that helps you, Kickapoo. Let us know how it works out in the comments, or send me an email, 424recording@gmail.com.
Hey, the Porta O2 has EQ. It has EQ.
We have one chilling somewhere.
Yeah, it definitely has EQ.
Unfortunately, I have a tiny O2 that doesn't have, but you guys do that. Yeah, I think it has a high and a low, doesn't it?
Oh, actually, he's right.
Oh, maybe we're thinking of the 414.
On this one. I forgot about that.
All right, so yeah, then that's actually better then. So get the sound you want before you even plug anything in.
I don't know. I think that kind of sucks, actually. I would much rather have EQ, especially going into that for a bass.
Sure, but like the more options that you have, you know, the more, I don't know, the more confusing it could become. So, you know, get the gain staging right before you go to even record. If there's no way to adjust it, then you're definitely going to have to make sure that the bass sounds the way you want it to sound before you record it.
Easy. Yeah, there's a breakdown and pictures on the forum of all that stuff.
Yeah, if somebody
this side here is mostly front end and patch bays, headphone amps in the middle. The other side is outboard compression, some EQ, couple limiters, and a bunch of vintage funky, like 80s and 90s digital effects.
I love that. See, this is a great example of what we're talking about. I love the look of that Roland digital delay, but I don't know what it sounds like.
The Roland digital delay, actually, if you look at this thing, yeah, that was still delayed actually from when I did my vocals on the new record. But that delay is usually set for like 10 milliseconds or something, and I use it Albini style to time align the DI signal. Yeah. Yep, DI signal with the bass. But instead of sliding fucking samples around and dicking around with it all the time. But yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of stuff in here that I don't use very much, and there's stuff on top of the rack that I probably end up using more than half the shit that's in the racks, which is ironic, but you know, yeah, gets the job done.
Yeah, it's so cool, dude. I don't really have any rack gear.
I have too much rack gear, man.
Mad jelly.
Nah. Having rack gear kind of sucks because you can't ever fucking sell it. Once you've got it, you're stuck with it.
You think so?
It's yours forever.
Really?
Unless it's like fucking magical.
Well, what about like a Sansamp, like RBI? That seems to be a piece of gear everybody always wants one of.
Those you can sell pretty easy, but shit like you know, the lower end,
like DVX
2-channel compressors and like fucking 4-bank gates and shit like that.
I feel like certain
graphic
stuff is
EQs
redundant too.
It's really hard to sell people graphic EQs even, which you need for like an analog system.
Yeah. I mean, that's like the new Be Cool Cowboy thing. Like, a lot of people are asking me, is this in the 4-track in the box? Like, I just did that shit in the box, man. I was fucking feeling lazy, and you know, I used the RBI, and that's pretty much it for outboard. But I'm just fucking lazy. Like, I would love to have this stuff, but like, I don't know.
Yo, what's up, Nano? Easy. You don't use a piece of string to measure the distance from the DI to the pickup Glenn John style. No. In fact, I don't use the Glenn Johns technique on drums even.
I feel like I just snorted.
You like, did, but that's okay.
I feel like that was like a... I can't tell if that was like a joke or a serious question. Oh, yeah.
Well,
that's fucking hilarious. That's a good one, Easy.
Will if you take a mic signal off of the bass amp...
Yo, Nano fixed it.
And you take a DI also, the airspace between the speaker and the mic puts a delay in the signal, basically, versus that DI signal. Because the DI doesn't have any airspace, so there's theoretically no latency there. So if you add a few milliseconds of a non-mixed delay, you don't want to slap. You want it all wet and just literally a time delay, like what they would put in a speaker system or whatever in a stadium. That's what I do with that thing a lot. And you can read Steve Albini talks about that a lot. It's a fun little trick. It's shitty if you get the delay setting wrong though.
Yo, Nano said, yeah, the cable was wrong. I was very shy to tell. Don't worry. That's the thing, Mr. Nano. A lot of times with the 4-track stuff I found over the course of doing the channel and just using myself, it's like it can be user error. So it's a strange machine. It's strange. Like there's some quirks to it. So don't feel shy about it. Don't feel embarrassed. Like
yeah, it's all
I'm
good.
just glad that you figured out what was up with it. You know. But yeah, that's always a good place to start. Jay was just saying that something he did this on a session. There was like a cable that you were like, why am I getting this sound? It was the fucking.
I was recording. I've got a guy that's in right now. We're doing. It's kind of like a doomy solo project for him. He's a drummer, but on this thing he's playing really super funky, fuzzed out bass, and he's really gonna put drums on it. So I had, I took a DI off of a Sans Amp bass driver pedal, and then I had a 57 sort of edge miking one of the 10s in my 410 here, and I had a D112 that was catching the meat on one of the lower speakers. So I had 3-signal blend, and there was one song he did clean, but that he wanted to really like add a sort of an underlying fuzz tone. So I ran that DI signal back out through my home built, custom, special design Russian Bear thing.
Which is kind of a big muff, or?
Nah, that's kind of not really like anything else.
So it's like a fuzz, basically a fuzz.
No, that's a distortion, like balls out.
Oh, okay.
That'll blow the fucking front end right off your amp if you're not careful. That thing's very hot. You gotta pad the interface even with the fucking, with the gain down. But so I'm running it out though, and I got like this. Is there still audio?
All right, RIP streaming again. I think we're back. Yeah, I'm gonna just stand here and let the fucking just because I care that much about the channel and the stream. I'm gonna subject.
There we go.
I'm gonna subject myself to the brain.
So Mike is standing behind the camera to try to keep the stream alive.
Yeah.
So anyway, I was saying there was
You're welcome.
Like, kind of whirring, distorted white noise sound in this bass track when I was running that pedal, and I couldn't figure it out. So I just printed it and I cut out in the quiet or the silent sections of the song, the beginning, a middle break, and the end. I just cut the noise out and did what I needed to do. But it turned out actually that I have a patch cable that's fucked up for some reason, and whatever it was doing was adding white noise and distortion to the distortion signal.
Yeah.
So that's printed as part of the track, and probably not an effect you would ever be able to replicate again.
Right.
But it's cool as shit.
It sounds fucking cool.
It sounds like something's about to explode. It's like fucking boiling nails.
And that's the whole thing, Mr. Nano, is like, again, it came down to a cable. So don't be worried. Don't be embarrassed that
But I'll show you.
it was user error.
Just for the fuck of
That
it.
shit happens all the time, my friend.
Is the stream still healthy?
Stream is still healthy. I don't know how healthy my brain is gonna be after all these fucking waves go through it, but yeah. After all the stream.
I'll be curious to see what these sound like on the stream, but I'll just give you a tiny snippet of this thing since.
Yeah, let's do it. I want to hear it.
My track. So this is just bass guitar cut to a click track. I'll mute the click so you're not listening to that bullshit. But it's pretty good. There's just a tiny bit of EQ on here, and there's a bus limiter on it. But it's just yeah, it's a short scale bass. I think he was using like a Mustang bass.
Oh, I didn't. I meant to ask you that. Yeah.
He had one of the newer ones with the jazz and the P bass pickup in it.
Is that like the Fender Alternative Universe thing?
I don't know. It sounds pretty good though.
Interesting. It sounds. Oh yeah, I love the. Oh, when you played it, I was like, what is that?
Just bass tracks, basically. But
sounds fucking great, man.
But I gotta try to find the one that had. I think it was the last one that had the.
Stoner Medley. Yeah, that's what I think. It's like a Doom project. Kickapoo.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is the one that had the noise on the track though, and I'll play you just that track soloed. Super fuzzy, nasty, but like his clean track was this.
Yeah, so like that first sound was the cable.
Yeah, that's a broken cable with a crazy distortion pedal and you know, just reamping the bass track back through it, basically.
Dude, I gotta say, cables. Mr. Nano said that was a brand new cable, by the way, which I think is funny. But
yeah, it happens.
There's this little Behringer box. I think it's called a CT100. It's like a cable tester. I think Jay, you have like the high,
the Morley one,
the better one, yeah.
Yeah, it's blue, makes test
but,
tones and shit.
Yeah, so it's like a test tone generator / like cable tester. I think the Behringer one's like $20. I would highly recommend snagging one of them and just keeping them by your desk, keep them by where you record, because I gotta say, like, the same deal, man. Like, especially those cheap ass patch cables you get, those shits die all the time, and you could be in the middle of doing something and be like, why isn't this thing working? And I feel like 9 times out of 10, it's the fucking cable. So if you have a way to test it, what I do now, and it's kind of, I kind of do it religiously / I kind of do it. What is that called when you're like have to touch a doorknob like 3 times? Obsessive compulsive. Yeah, I obsessively am checking the cables now with the CT100. Like, even if I know that it's like a good cable, I just fucking test them because I'm like, I don't want this thing.
Usually, if I have a,
because I don't know, I have a lot of janky cables, so
yeah, I don't really question my cables until they don't work. Then I throw them off to the side. There's a whole drawer out there in that fucking filing cabinet full of questionable cables that someday I'll test my way through. But
right.
Usually when one shits, I either find another one or I go home and make some.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, I trust a lot of them, but the ones I'm talking about specifically are the tiny fucking
the Hosa style.
The Hosa style, yes. Those things, like, if you just one day it'll work perfectly, you'll turn your shit on the next day. That thing will be dead, and you'll be like, "What? Why what happened to my gear? Why isn't my gear to work? A gear's broken." It's like, it's this fucking shitty cable. And I mean, I don't know. I'm not one to buy crazy expensive cables, but the difference is negligible. But I'd rather have a pack. But I guess my point is, that's why I like the CT100 to fucking like just have it on the desk. Be like, okay, I'm gonna test this cable out before I plug it in. Okay, I'm gonna be recording this bass track. Yeah, stream seems all right, right? Yeah, yeah, it's pretty cool, Mister. I think it's like $20, and you can test all your cables on it. And that's the thing. Like, It'll tell you right off the bat if something's fucked up, if there's a connection that's wrong.
Nano, you want to use your notebook as a rack? Do you mean for effects? Okay, so until you answer that,
if you're just joining us, thanks for coming out. We were having some issues with the stream quality, but it seems like it's doing okay now.
Matt says, I have a question. Is it really necessary to burn in new monitors? How much braking do they need? I think burning in new monitors is kind of bullshit. More often than not, what you're really doing is getting your ears adjusted to the way that those monitors sound versus the way that your old monitor sounded. There is a break-in period to speakers. It varies by how you use it and what you use it for, and at what levels. But I think it's fucking hoodoo to like take a brand new set of monitors and run like, you know, hours and hours of broad spectrum fucking text tone through them,
yeah,
just so that
right.
you know, some asshole, you know, can tell you that you've met his criteria for break-in.
Yeah.
What you've actually done is subtracted lifespan from perfectly good monitors.
Yeah.
By running a bunch of bullshit through them real loud,
right.
to try to break them in and
well,
flex them.
Hey,
I don't.
This seems to be the running theme of our stream tonight. It's like shit that people think that you need to do that there's really no reason you'd ever need to do them. Or
Mr. Nano, if you wanted to do.
Oh yeah, the rack question.
If you wanted to do things like effects through your laptop with your 4-track, that you could do. I don't think you could get the latency low enough to be able to like ping pong from the 4-track and back with compression and shit without it, you know, interjecting some kind of latency there. So, you know, the thing with latency, if you use it that way, like out of the 4-track into the computer and then from the computer back out, you're introducing latency on that loop. But that latency, when it comes to things like reverb, becomes pre-delay, actually, which is not a bad thing. That's a parameter in most reverb plugins.
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah.
So, like, if your audio engine settings tell you that your sample rate is set to the place where your latency is whatever, say it's 5 or 10 or whatever milliseconds, you know, you can add or subtract pre-delay time on your reverb to sort of make that work in your favor. But yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point too. Is like.
But as far as doing it for,
I always had a feeling that was bullshit.
Yeah, as far as doing the effects through the computer that way, though, the only way you could do that is to run your mics through the computer and then record from, you know, direct outputs on the backside into your 4-track. You would want to monitor off of the computer while you're tracking so that the shit doesn't get confusing. It seems like a lot of bullshit, and I don't think I would do it that way. Your best bet really is to probably find some cheap outboard compressors, and like, I like these things. It's a DBX 266. Like, a lot of people fucking hate those things, but I've been tracking stuff with them for years.
That's like the classic DBX compressor.
It's a DBX Project 1. I think they're made in like the, I don't know, probably, I think these are 90 sometime, but like, I can do shit with these that I can't do with anything else. There's, you know, it's a VCA design, real simple. It'll destroy your audio if you let it, but it's real clean as long as you're careful. And, you know, or look up the Alesis 3630. It's like the worst compressor ever made, but you can do some cool shit with them. And go into cassette, they sound fucking awesome. And I think you can get them for about $25.
Oh,
US
shit.
dollars,
3630?
So, you know, yeah.
Oh, snap. You heard it here, folks. You heard it here, folks, first. The Alesis 3630.
Oh, that's no new stuff.
I know, I'm just fucking around.
Those fucking things, man.
You heard it here first, folks. Yeah, I'm losing it a little bit, folks. It's been a long, long day. Oh, what is your name? I like plug guitar. I can't talk. Can't fucking talk.
And then out to the 4-track. Well, that you could do, but
I don't think you have to worry about latency.
yeah, you do, because, well,
Oh, if you're monitoring it, yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think how that would work. You'd be monitoring the cassette, but I suspect that you're playing through that whole chain, analog to digital, effect, digital to analog, and then into the cassette would put you behind the track no matter how you did it. So you'd constantly be lurching trying to catch the track.
Yeah.
So the easiest way to do that is to, in your audio engine, whatever program you're using, put it down to the lowest sample rate there is. I think in Logic I can go, the lowest I can go is 32. I'll pull it up, look at it.
Whew.
Yeah, in Logic.
So just a little update on the stream health. It looks pretty good since the stream's been using my brain as an extra antenna.
Yeah. So if you turn your in-out buffer size down as low as it'll go, the lowest I can go in Logic is 32 samples, which would give me an effective latency. It's like about 3 milliseconds. I usually track at 128, which gives me a round trip latency of 10 milliseconds. Yeah. So.
That big old brain. Yeah, it's getting even bigger once I have my fucking cancer growth. Jeez, I'm going to some dark places right now.
But yeah, I mean, you could experiment with playing into the amp sim and into the 4-track, but I suspect you're going to find that it drags and does weird shit.
Sorry. It's ridiculous. Coming back in. Can't keep thinking about my brain over there. All right, let's. This will be a good experiment. So the quality was just great as I was standing there. Let's see how long it takes for this thing to fucking drop off again. It already looks like bit crushed again.
Yeah. What the fuck? What are we doing here?
What's up? It's all fucked up again? It looks good on here. Well, Jay, what do you say, man? I'm getting like
easy. That 128 is the in-out buffer size, not the latency. That latency is about 10 milliseconds. And no, you don't feel the delay at 10 milliseconds. I have never had a problem with it ever.
Maybe he means 128 milliseconds.
If you had 128 milliseconds, Jesus, I don't think you could even track a song here with that. Yeah. I think when I mix up here, I usually, when I'm doing, heavy CPU shit, once I've printed all stuff I'm going to print, I usually crank that buffer up. And if I print things with the buffer cranked all the way up, I think my latency goes up enormously. Yeah, with the buffer maxed out, that's 1024 samples in out buffer. Latency goes up to 51 milliseconds. So,
RIP again.
That was me.
Yo, are we back? RIP me another one. Rip me another one. All right, guys. I guess I'm gonna have to just stand here.
Well, I think
we're gonna need to hire an intern pretty soon. We'll just have them. We just need you to just make sure the stream stays healthy there. We won't tell them that it's because we need their meat bag as an antenna.
Right.
So yeah, if any of you guys want to be interns.
So what I was saying before we dropped out again was that, in response to Easy, if I crank my buffer up to the max in-out sample size, then it goes up to like 51 milliseconds of latency, which is there's no way you track around it, but down in the 5 to 10 range is not a problem. But I mean, I think that's also why like recording to tape or to cassette and shit is a lot more comfortable for some people because there's zero latency.
Yeah, you can't beat zero.
Like having a fucking UAD Apollo where you can monitor at like
Yeah, the
What's
latency.
the latency? It's like 0.3 milliseconds.
Oh my god,
or
it's
something.
like not even.
Yeah.
It's negligible.
Fucking. That would be nice.
Yeah,
But,
it's
not
cool.
there yet. So
It's cool.
unless somebody out there wants to send the channel an Apollo, you know, whatever the 16 channel shit is, but.
I bumped your entire EP. What? Thanks, man.
He has the mastering 2-bus one.
Yeah.
I think it's just D to A, and then he has the Apollo. I think it's the Apollo 16. I feel like maybe it's only the Apollo 8. I can't remember.
Yeah, because he had I thought he had those in that deal that he got, right? He got like the two.
One of them.
Because I remember he had like a 2U case for them, right? I remember they were here at one point.
Yeah, they were here at one point. Yeah, that was the.
Or was that a different?
The mastering converter was in that one, and
Oh wow.
the interface was in that one.
Yo, fam, I think we're gonna be wrapping this.
Be cool, cowboy.
Yeah.
The Bandcamp.
Bandcamp, yeah. I'm sure somebody. Oh yeah, well you're a mod. You can
Right
dump
now.
it. It's so funny that the stream goes from like complete shitting the bed to like $100. It's so weird.
I don't understand what the fuck.
I don't get it, man. It's like blame it on the weather. I'll blame it on the weather, but it's just weird, dude. It goes from like dropping out to coming back. Thanks for bumping that, guys. Appreciate you doing that. Yeah, it was just something I put out recently. I actually did that one in the DAW though. It's not on the 424, but next one.
On the DAW?
Yeah, I did that in the box. I don't know. Like I said, I was being fucking lazy. There was just certain things I wanted to do that I was like, I could take a really long time to do these. It was 80% is good enough, you know. It was like.
Do you want to take the thing outside and we'll finish the stream out there?
Oh yeah.
See if that does us any better, because this video looks like hell.
Alright, we're taking a little field trip.
Fucking raining again.
Oh, is it? It's just a phone.
Is the stream any better out here?
I don't. I mean, it looks. Oh, you look great under there, man. This is like.
Oh, great.
Good.
Fucking cigarette sticking out.
Good lighting.
Yeah, I installed this light specifically for videography work.
Really?
No. I installed this thing. Break you like a gangster.
Oh, you're at least 6 to 8 bit.
6 to 8 bit. I'm the 8-bit gangster.
There you go.
Stepping on wanksters.
Well, what do you guys think? Is stream health any better out here? It's fucking like spitting at all.
You want to go on this side? You go on this side, then the smoke won't get you.
Oh,
It's
over
going
here.
that way.
Yeah.
Over there. The smoke's going towards the building. I don't know what's happening.
I don't know. Oh my god, yeah, we're still like blotchy as fuck.
Yeah.
It's all good. Well, guys, we're wrapping up here. Jay's having his cigarette break. Mike, Pure Honey was the fave at the. Oh, that's cool, man. That seems to be the crowd favorite. You know, that's so funny because I don't know which one was. I think I Fall Forever is my personal fave, but that's so funny, man. Pure Honey, that's everybody's coming through with that one.
Easy. Actually, the cell towers are building from where we are. There's a mountain, and the cell towers are either on top of or on the other side of that mountain. So it's sort of like, you know, when bad weather happens, it's sort of hit or miss out here sometimes. But someday we'll get enough money together to put my fucking Wi-Fi in here. But
yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah. We gotta get some quotes on that and see what the deal is.
I actually was thinking about maybe if I move my landline from my house here, since I don't use the landline at my house anyway.
Oh, you can do that?
Yeah, you just move it. And then I could, once it's moved, I could maybe put a DSL package on it, but I have to see how much that costs.
Dude, yeah, I would get.
That fucking landline already cost me like $70 a month, and I don't
Holy
use it.
fuck, man! If
Keep it just for emergency shit.
if there was a way to yeah, we could work something out.
But I always have wanted an answering machine that like goes studio. Beep.
That would be sick, dude.
Studio.
Beep. You got to make that a reality, man. I want to leave messages on a machine like that.
I probably get a whole bunch of like weird people calling me, just like.
That's true. Yeah, you just can't give it out to people.
Like, yo, man, I found you through a video on YouTube. Even though you didn't publish your number there, I sleuthed through and found your phone number, and so I'm calling you from, you know, like a southwest someplace, and I want to know if you work on this thing for me. I mean, I will, but it's kind of weird that you went like that deep into it.
Well, it's also weird because like the emails are pretty public.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
Easy. This is like, so we built a garage, my father and I, about almost 20 years ago now, and the upstairs was just a big wide open unfinished room with 2 dormers in it, and it's always been the rehearsal space for my bands since we built it pretty much. And a couple of years ago I started building walls. I always recorded up here, but it was always in one room, you know. Everybody was in headphones, including me, and then I would mix through monitors. But after I started actually going out and doing work in professional studio environments with control rooms and isolation and shit, I couldn't go back to fire. So, you know, what you're looking into is, you know, it's pretty small. But I was watching a video today, actually, it was of Steve Paul, 80s, early 90s. And, like, that video made me feel really good about my space. Because he was like, he built bass traps out of like mattresses, and he just hung like loose felt over it. And, like, there's like fucking missing ceiling tiles and like holes in the walls and shit. Like,
interesting.
Like, damn, I feel bad because there's a little bit of like.
Yeah, I know. Like we were filming the video, and you're like, don't. You could see like, nobody cares.
Yeah, well, all the parts that they.
Punk rock, man. Punk rock.
All the parts they see on the channel are the finished parts, so
right,
it don't matter,
right.
Except for out.
See backstage. I think nobody cared. Nobody would have been even have thought of that, though. You know.
Well, I mean, whether they do or they don't, or whether they think it or say anything or not, you know,
it's important to you. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's not really important. I mean, you think about when I was in one room, there was not an inch of anything finished. There were no window trims or door tape or paint or, you know, everything was unfinished. Door to get in was loose in the hole and shit, you know, you could pull it out with a hammer. So, you know, now versus where I was then, you know, this is heads and tails above.
Yeah.
But nobody ever fucking complained back then, other than the fact that like on summer days it was like 1,000 fucking degrees up here.
Yeah.
But now we have air conditioners, so
that's awesome.
You know, warm in the winter, cold in the summer because I like it cold, and you know, if rough around the edges is not your thing, or if you aspire towards a higher fidelity recording than, you know, what it is that I am into or what I can provide, then this isn't the space for you. But, you know, if you like hanging out with chill people and you don't mind like pissing in the woods and you know, whatever, then welcome to it.
Kickapoo's asking anything Jazz engineered that we can check out. What should he check out? Surmiser?
Yeah. Well, I saw left as a mix of engineers.
Right. Oh, okay. Yeah, check out the Surmiser album. Yeah, there you go. Thanks, man. Man, these guys are on, man. We got the best mods at.
I don't know what else. Like the kitty fish. Oh. Link.
Jay's looking for the Kitty Fisher Army link.
Yeah.
Oh, Matt, I swear No Indie sounds like something the emo kids on South Park were listening to. Yo, funny thing about No Indie is that's actually, the lyrics are from the first band I was ever in. It was like, so a 17-year-old friend of mine, and I think I wrote maybe a line or two, but a lot of it is like from the brain of 16, 17-year-old kids, so that makes a lot of sense in terms of No Indie.
So I guess they still haven't uploaded the entire record to the Bandcamp yet, but I'll link you one of the tracks from that record, and you can check that out.
Oh, I didn't realize you meant the synth sounds. That's cool. I think I used the
Wait a minute, it
micro.
says streams offline again. Is it showing it's working?
It's coming up, man, friend. Yeah, it looks good. I just
Are
got.
you guys still seeing us out there?
I just got the Kitty Fisher Army link.
Yeah.
Seems good. Yeah, the synth was the micro core, just like one of those patches. It's funny. I don't really listen to a lot of emo, Matt. It's interesting. But yeah, I would say it's definitely an emotional album. It's an emotional album for me, or EP. Had a lot of fun making it.
Grab that Kitty Fisher Army Bandcamp. That track is off a full length I did with her. Whether you like the vibe of it or not, whatever, but that's
Some of the later stuff you've
That's
recorded.
what it sounds like up here. For that kind of band, anyway. I've worked with a lot of punk bands and a lot of heavy stuff. I'm doing that doom stoner kind of stuff with this guy right.
Yeah.
I made a freak folk record over the winter, which is way outside of my wheelhouse, but that came out cool. And
cool.
When she puts that out, finally I'll win. And but check out that link and see what you think. I don't even know.
Check out what.
Sure. I don't know. I guess that one's all right.
Yo, guys, thank you so much for bearing with the stream issues. That's awesome. We'll be back next week at the same time. I guess we're wrapping up, winding down here. But thanks everybody for coming out. Twin, Matt, Coop, Easy. Oh, this is great, man. All you dudes, Kickapoo, Mr. Nano. I'm reciting this from memory, so I'm trying to think. Will came through. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if I missed any of you guys.
So yeah, thanks everybody for coming.
Matt, I said Easy. Oh, Jimmy was the first one in here tonight.
And Kickapoo, are you, if you're not already on there, forum, 424recording.com/forum. Stay in touch with whatever he's doing and
come through, my friend.
All these fine folks that join us on the stream every week, and sort of stay abreast of the goings on. We hope to see you over there.
Yeah, and don't forget to subscribe live every Wednesday at 7 p.m. So.
Yeah, it seems like every other week the stream's good. Usually the ones at New Paltz are clean. Yeah, one day we'll get it figured out.
Clean of, you mean of like cursing?
Clean of what? No.
Oh, yeah.
No, the
I see what you mean. Yeah.
Caricatures of people.
Yeah, next week we'll be streaming in high definition. This week is the lo-fi.
Yep, this is the low def.
It's kind of the dichotomy of the channel. We do like a lo-fi stream, and then we do like a more like in the box stream. So like every other week we switch it up. Just to make sure we match the aesthetic of the channel and everything that is 424 recording. So, but thank you guys so much for bearing with all the technical difficulties. I feel like people have been getting kicked out, coming back in. R.I.P. This is like this zombie stream. This is the stream that will not die until we says it can. So. Kind of.
I wish you guys could see this. This is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's so foggy that it's like miniature fine droplets in the air.
See?
Yeah, well,
we're proud of you, my friend. Thank you for coming through, Will. And we're gonna check out that email. Oh man, I meant the mini log, not the micro cord. You have a mini log, right? I'll send you the patch. I forget what patch it was, but it's just one of the standard. I think it may have been like patch 15. So on the mini log that.
Never say die. I think Casualty said that.
Little Goonies never say die.
Well, Goonies never say die too. But there's a punk rock song that definitely says that in like a stop part somewhere. I forget.
All right, fam. Task fam, thank you so much for coming through. Appreciate all you guys. Been in a fucked up mood today, so thanks for bearing with all the things that I've been saying and doing and acting like, but you probably don't even notice. So, but yeah, thanks for hanging out. Jay, thanks for practicing tonight with me.
Yeah, man.
That really got me out of my.
Yeah.
But I feel like I need to just pass out or
It's
something.
always fun, man. I'm sure you do. It seems like when you finish these streams, you're usually pretty much depleted.
Yeah. Oh man, it's like like when you do a show, it kind of gets a little. Well, actually, no, it gives you that excited energy.
Yeah, I don't know. Like for me, when I play a show, I don't usually crash till 3, 4 in the morning.
Yeah, it's like kind of a high. Yeah.
But like when I crash bad.
What's it like then? I don't know.
Pass
It's just
out
like
in a dress with no shower and stuff. It's pretty bad.
I feel like just stream is just stamina, man. I don't have. It's not.
Bro, Twin, we'll see you next week.
Thanks, Easy. I will. A very interesting experiment. Later, Twin. Thank you so much for the tapes. Strawberry sleepover. You want to bump it in the chat real quick? I've been doing a thing where I've been going through trying to links part of the. Maybe I'll try to update that tomorrow. Maybe in the I don't know. There's a thread on the forum about it. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, do something you want to do. Like, subscribe, forum, Kickstarter. Email him. Email me. Say, And peace out. We'll catch you all next week. Same bat time, same bat YouTube channel.
That's right. Hell yeah. All right, guys. Have a great night. Do what you want to do. And I'll flip it around. Peace.
Oh, yeah. I better not do it like that. We might have English watchers, viewers.
Cheerio, guys. Increase the peace. Hell yeah.
Haters.